What is up? Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Hood Report, Mount Hood's very own skate and snow podcast, episode 2. Sitting with me here today, we have Leif Drasnin French. Is that how we say the full name?
Yeah, what's happening?
What's up, Leif? Thanks for being here. Sitting in the Hommie Seat today, we have Pepe. Pepe, what's the full name? Let's give people the full name here.
Oh, Stephen Pepe.
Stephen Pepe. It's Stephen, not Stefan, as we determined earlier. Do people call you Stefan?
Nah, not usually.
No? Okay, we're clearing it up. But Pepe's here today. Not with us, as you might see, is Lex. Lex had a trip to New York, so he's out of the booth this week, but he'll be back with us as a regular co-host. And when he is back, we're excited to hear about his trip and how things went in New York. New York's a sick city to skate, so I'm a little jealous he got to go and have some time there. Have you guys been before? You're from that area, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you from New York or New Jersey? I forget.
Upstate New York, Syracuse, but
Okay.
I've never skated in New York City.
You've never
Really?
skated in the city?
Nope.
Okay. I went one time, but I was really young, probably like 11 or 12, but I was already skating, so I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it's like it's one of my favorite skate trips I've ever gone on is New York. So
When did you go there?
we went 2019 for Dam Am,
Oh,
the
sick.
New York City Dam Am. So it was a proper trip. Went with a good crew. Got to like skate around, see all the sights.
Dope.
Yeah, trip for the books. But that's crazy that you never got to skate the city and like grew
Yeah.
up there. But you grew up kind of far from the city, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably like 5 or 6 hour drive.
Okay. Yeah, so that's like a whole nother state away pretty much. That's far. But yeah, Lex is out. He'll be back. We know Lex is a crowd favorite. We were saying he's one of our favorites too. That's why he's here every week. So he'll be
He
back.
sounded really good on the first podcast.
Yeah, we're a little nervous to go without him, not going to lie. But I'm sure we got it, you know. Dad'll be back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a little house cleaning item real fast is the 1855 GovyLore scum number. Turns out that's only good for 1 minute. We have a heater of a guest that called in with a GovyLore story that we're going to be playing towards the end here. But it's like a 5-minute long story, and it took us a couple different tries to be able to get that thing onto the podcast here. So turns out it's only good for 1 minute. Do call the 1855 number and leave us a story or a funny complaint. Who was the one that Barbara?
Oh, didn't like the Diego V scum.
Yeah, I still don't
Yeah.
know if that's real or not.
Yeah,
I can't tell.
hard to say.
It's
Was there any
hilarious.
other, besides the GovyLore that you picked, were there other people that called in?
We've, based off of the GovyLore that we had, kind of plugged us into a bunch of otother people to where now it's like spiraling. Like
Oh,
there's so many people
So
reaching out.
there are people calling into the 855 Die Govy Scum?
I'll have to check with
I'm not
Lex because
sure.
he's the one
Okay.
that has access
Okay.
to it. But as far as like,
We got a good one for this episode.
there's a lot of people that want to get their stories onto
Yeah,
the podcast,
of
and
course.
thank you guys. We are going to get them all out in turn, so keep them coming. We're excited for that. But yeah, do call 1855 GovyLore scum up to 1 minute. If it's longer than 1 minute, hit us with like a DM, and we'll figure out a way to get your story. So thank you. Kind of off of that, the support for the podcast has been amazing. So, you know, we're one episode in, and a bunch of people are reaching out already saying that they like it, and all the friends around town are saying what's up about it. So
Yeah,
thank you guys.
a lot of people hit me up really stoked. I wasn't surprised, but it's just cool that people tuned in and listened. I don't really listen to podcasts that much, so I just wasn't sure what the audience was going to be like. Do you listen to podcasts, Pepe?
No, not usually.
Like, I'll listen to little tidbits, but front to back, I don't really listen to too many.
Yeah, I'm
I know you
going
do.
through a bunch of them because I'm
Yeah.
out there working all day by
Yeah.
myself, usually doing brake jobs and stuff. Just Mount Hood Mobile, shout out.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I'm in the headphones. You know,
Yeah.
you get a little starved for conversation, so just listening.
Yeah,
in
it's
and-
nice just to have like an hour or two that plays through too without ads and stuff.
Yeah, and it's a good way to stay in touch with what's happening. And
Mm-hmm.
I would always get excited when I listen to other podcasts and they're talking about stuff that starts to touch on the local area. You know, you start to perk up a bit. So
Yeah.
something that's all that we are doing this because I wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just take the ball and we're doing it. So thank you guys for the support. We appreciate it. We're making this for you. Anything on that?
Either you guys ever called the 1-855-DIE-GOVY-SCUM?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like it's like a full call tree. There's like options. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how he put that all together, but it's super funny.
Yeah, I called it with my parents actually and showed them it.
Really?
Because they saw that sticker and they're like, "Is that a real number?" And so we called it. And
It's so
I'd done
good.
it once before. I called it once before.
It's what's great is that he just did that randomly and like doesn't really promote it other than like what we've started doing here, and like
Yeah.
who knows how long Lex has had that for. It's just like something that he thinks is funny and like pays for every month.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's great. But yeah, thank you guys. Kind of spinning into that, we actually got shouted out on a podcast from our first episode. The Monday Mass gave us a shout out. That's one of the podcasts that I listen to regularly. It's Todd Richards and Chris Corte.
Okay.
And there's like I think they say it's an all action sports podcast. So there's like talking about skate, surf,
Nice.
snowboarding.
Who's the second guy? Chris
Corte?
Yeah, who's that?
He's a surfer. I
Oh,
think he's
okay.
like a big time surf announcer.
Cool.
Like they're plugged in. So
How long have they been doing that podcast, you know?
I'm not sure. I think they're pretty established though. They're one of the ones that I listen to regularly.
Okay.
So to hear them like give us a shout out, I was straight tripping on. It's like he just started playing basketball and like
What did they
LeBron James
say?
is like, "Yo, nice shot."
Yeah, what did they say?
Todd just said that he heard that this thing exists and is excited about it. It was just talking about some old like Govy stuff and
Oh, okay. Cool.
Govy is a
Sick.
magical place, dude. A lot of people have come through and kind of like had their early times here. So
right.
it's gonna
If
be
you're
cool
in
to
the
dig into those.
snowboard world, you've probably spent some time at Mount Hood.
Yeah, or skated through if you're doing the skate
Yeah,
tour too.
yeah,
You come through in
exactly.
the summertime. It's like prime time place to camp.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool there. Thank you guys. There's if you haven't listened to that episode yet, go check out the Monday Mass. But cool, that's all that. Down to some local hood news. Not too much has been going on. It's the middle of October here, so not too much snowboarding, but we are starting to get excited for snowboarding. It was a crisp fall morning this morning. I don't know, waking up early to come in here, I kind of felt like I was heading to the mountain a little bit. Started to get excited for that. So you guys getting excited for some boarding?
Oh, yeah.
I'm medium. I snowboarded all summer, so I kind of like that little bit of time off.
Yeah. I imagine you get a little burnt being up there every day throughout
Yeah.
the summertime, which
But
is sick. But
I know when it snows in Govy, I'll go up to the jib yard and go ride. So
about to be
I'm
PVC
not fiending,
season.
but I'll go.
Yeah. Well, doing some research for today's episode, I was just pouring through the videos of like all the homies riding the local scene here. So I am jonesing for some bowl and
Yeah.
some early season with
Yeah.
the friends. It's gonna be a good time. But there was some local video premieres. The Search Party video premiered in Portland. I didn't make it down to there. I had it on the calendar to go. We went on a hike with the family, which turned into like a 4-hour like endeavor of like going way farther in the woods than we meant to.
Nice.
So didn't make it down to Portland that day, but looked like a sick time. Pepe, do you make it?
No.
Was it a Videograss premiere?
Yeah, it's a video grass.
Do you know who was in it?
I know Jill's in it. I don't want to misquote it. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, bunch of big names in
Yeah, all
it, and
the
it's
big-
just cool
the
when
big
they come
dogs.
through town. You gotta go and say what's up.
Videograss is so good. They always make a top video.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of the videos of the year
Mm-hmm.
for sure. So I'm sure that'll be dropping online soon. Excited to check that out. More local news. What do we got? The announcement of Sinister Films' Pickpocket announced their tour release. That's featuring Sam Adamson, Colton Carroll, Connor Carroll, and Bobby Still. They aren't going to be doing a premiere in Portland.
I saw
strangely
that.
enough, yeah, they're going
It's
to be.
it's Sam Anderson, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might have misquoted
Sam
that.
Anderson,
Sorry,
he's
I can't
sick.
read my own handwriting. I'm staring at from far away. We're all nervous on this
We
thing.
we
we're
still
figuring it out.
we still don't have an answer for Connor Carroll's sponsors, right?
No, not yet.
So we wanted to get him on for this today, right?
Yeah, he's down. The
Okay.
schedule just didn't line up. So
Okay.
at some point we're gonna get him on to come in and say what's up with all that and just
Yeah.
kind of kick it. Connor's a homie, so
Yeah.
excited to see what he's got in
He was
store for
working
this year.
today?
Yeah, he's got work
Okay.
today.
Cool.
But so that's coming up.
That should be a pretty good film, though.
Yeah, and if you are in the towns of Madison, Denver, Minneapolis, or Salt Lake City, make sure to check that out. I believe it's going to be in the next coming weeks. They're going to be touring around promoting that. So I've seen a couple of the clips he has. I believe are going into that. So it'll be
Yeah,
a good,
Connor, we
good
need
video.
a Govy premiere. Get on that.
Right? What's up, dude?
We got to see your clips in Mount Hood.
Maybe when they drop it online, we can just like go and
We could have a little showing. Or
yeah, a little
something. I don't
showing or
know.
like a little Chuck's premiere.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Also, exciting stuff coming up. The Sandy Skate Park announced their opening day, which is it November 2nd?
November 2nd, so it's 20 days away.
20 days away.
Pretty
We will have
exciting.
a brand new skate park.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to do a whole episode dedicated to that. So episode 3 is going to be Sandy Skate Park episode. We'll have some old friends in here to talk about, you know, old times and what the old skate park meant, and then, you know, talk a little bit
Yeah,
about the
so
new
if
park.
you got any stories about it, reach out to the podcast or Donovan.
Yeah, I'll be going around
so we don't
collecting.
forget about you, you know, if you got a good story, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've got a list, and but you know, I've hit my head a lot. It's been a lot of years, so if you make sure I cover everyone's story. If you have a story you'd like to share from the old Sandy
Did
Skate
you
Park, call
go
that
to
number.
the old Sandy Skate Park, Pepe?
Yeah.
Like you would go there once a week or so?
Maybe not that often, but I remember the first time I came here, we went over there because it was like the closest park to
Okay.
the forest.
To the
and-
shop and stuff,
Yeah.
and to Sandy. Yep. I wasn't a very big local at the old Sandy Skate Park, but it's cool.
That's what the first time I met Charlie, though, for sure.
Was at the Sandy Skate Park?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Impossible, Charlie.
Yeah. He was a local,
Yep,
holding it down.
yep. He definitely had his time there.
He
for
was
sure.
there when you pulled up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, dude, Sandy Skate Park. I had every birthday party there from like the time they built it until
No
like
way.
you know you kind of stop having birthday parties or whatever.
Did you go to the opening day of the original park?
I think that we went there shortly afterwards. We weren't like that tuned in to be there for that because
Uh-huh.
it opened, I believe, in '97 or '98, and we'll get into this for the next show.
Sure.
But it opened around the same year that I started skating.
Uh-huh.
So just like our paths, you know, we're right in line.
Yep.
And now it's all crumbly and
Yeah.
gone. It doesn't skate anymore, and I'm trying to pretend that I'm not. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're like our paths are still.
It'll be cool. The new park. I mean, there'll be kids they have that same experience where they start skating and this park opens,
Yeah,
and it'll be a big moment in their life. So
and
that's awesome.
It's not a BS skate park. It's like an amazing park. It's going to be one of the best ones in Oregon.
Yeah,
So
we've been down there a couple times just looking at it, and it looks really big and really good.
to everyone that helped make that place happen and make it what it is, we're thankful. Thank you. So Sandy Skate Park, that's coming. That's going to be exciting. We have
November 2nd.
November 2nd. We have rumor that there may be a car going to the toe at some point. Mountain Ski Bowl. The rope
Yeah,
toe
you-
might have a car there.
Pepe was there. He helped move the car, right?
Yeah.
It was at our friend's house, and it finally got moved up to Govy. What happened?
I don't know. It's a Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. I don't know what year it is, but
I think 1973.
okay.
I was gonna ask what make and model because that's important. Like you know where are we jibbing here? Are we
nice
jibbing
and-
station
it's nice and
wagon or
round.
like nice round Volkswagen?
Yeah, it's got
That's
like
sick.
really nice like headlights and taillights.
So you were there
Nice
for
and
that,
bubbly.
Pepe, to help pick it up and put it on the trailer?
Yeah.
Was it hard?
No, it was surprisingly light. There's no like chassis though, so it's just the top frame.
Okay.
We picked it up and put it on
How
the
many-
Okay.
trailer.
Would you have like 4 or 5 people move it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, was there also the rails from the old Sandy skate park there? The
Yeah.
elbow rail?
Yeah.
So
We picked
you know
that
that
up
rail,
at,
right, Donovan?
From what's that guy's name?
From Matt Degner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout outs Matt Degner.
He was super stoked on like, we got to bring those rails to the ski bowl rope toe. And so I'm pretty sure he went and stashed them away for almost a year. It's a famous snowboard spot at the Sandy Skate Park, this like elbow rail. You've definitely seen some clips. And those rails are going up to ski bowl as well. Maybe they'll get refabbed into some other features, but
which
some
is
nice
awesome. I was
steel.
sad to see that that spot get torn out to make room for the new skate park.
Yeah,
But,
right. It was a really sick. I think it was natural speed, right?
Yeah, natty drop in,
Uh-huh.
a couple speed humps. My felt that was
Yep.
actually the first street spot that I ever hit back in the day with a Scrappy Joe.
Did you hit it?
Really?
Did you hit the
Yeah.
elbow or just the down bar?
I was trying to hit the elbow.
Yeah.
I was going 50 front board and like made it like halfway through.
You never-
Like I was trying something that I didn't have any business doing
Did you
yet.
did you
know?
ever make it to the end?
Uh,
Like a different time?
Yeah,
Didn't you board
different
slide it?
times. I've like board slid it before and
Yeah.
like gone 50-50 board. I've had other ideas I wanted to do there, but by
Yeah.
the time I got to it, you guys had already put the beat down on it. So there's a
Yeah, there's been a pretty
know.
good hits.
yeah, and we'll get into that.
So I'm
here
not
in the
too. I'm
episode.
not like super sad that that spot's gone. I feel like we got a lot of clips on it.
Yeah, I think you guys
Did you ever hit
what
that
needed
spot,
to be done
Pepe?
on it.
No.
Never hit the elbow rail?
Uh-uh.
Okay, it was money.
Anyways, that's exciting. We're gonna have some new stuff possibly up at the toe. Maybe not this year, but maybe in the future. So exciting stuff. What else we got for local news? Again, it's fall, where it's kind of not too much snowboarding going down. I don't know is anyone hiking and riding right now?
I saw Leo was up there yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Tony G was at the
Respect.
DIY last night, and he said he might go snowboard today. So respect.
Savage. Because right now you got to hike like all the way to like the top of Palmer, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's up there.
pretty.
But ripping through the rest of local news, Tactics and Union did a collab. There's a Tactics binding out that you can purchase through them. I'm due for bindings this year. What bindings are you guys rocking?
I got some fixed bindings.
Fix? Because I've been on Unions for like a long. I think that's what I'm on right now is Union Forces, and I've kind of been loyal to them for like damn near 10 years. So I see everyone else is on Fixes on Hood. It seems like is that the new thing or?
Yeah.
I don't know. I shouldn't say new thing. I'm like
Fix.
I've just had the same bindings forever.
Fix had the Sandwich smooth binding last year, so
I
I'm
saw
running
that.
that one. And before that, I always ran the Burton Malavita,
Okay.
which I feel like they're kind of a similar shape. But I did see they had some fixes on the website of that Sandwich binding that were like $155, size medium. So if you're in the market,
Okay.
Go
go
get 'em.
pick them up and rep.
I wear a size 10, so I like taking like a medium and stretching the toe cap, like stretching the binding out as big as it can. That way, I'm like in my mind, I'm like less material on the boards, less weight.
Yeah, because
you know,
10
it's
you could be a
tight.
medium or a large. Huh?
Yeah, so I try and, like, stretch
I think
out the
smaller
medium.
is generally better.
Yeah. What do you say you're on the fixes?
Yeah.
You got the sandwich fixes or just the?
No, just I got them at next adventure actually.
Okay.
They're brown though. They look just like the Sandwich ones, aren't they? Brown.
Yeah.
They
they're-
look. I thought they were, and just the graphic rubbed off or something.
No, they're a little different, but yeah, they're
Okay.
brown.
Well, maybe I'll have to check out some fixes.
Dude,
next.
they're pretty
We'll see
nice.
What's going on?
What do you're riding Union?
Union Forces is what I have right now.
I
just
had that one
standard, you
before.
know?
It's pretty good.
I feel like it's like the Titman 98 of bindings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like classic. You know what you're gonna get. It's
Yeah. The only thing is those mini discs always come loose.
yeah,
Do you have to tighten up your bindings?
yeah. But I've always had that problem.
Really?
I've never not. Had
That was the one
problem.
thing. The Burton Malavitas, I never had to tighten them up.
Someone I actually
They were
heard.
money.
I heard about putting grip tape under your binding and it keeps it from chattering.
Oh, uh-huh.
I think that was on the bomb hole. They're talking about that. And I'm
That's
like,
sick.
oh, maybe maybe I'll try some of that,
Yeah, could be a good idea.
especially at the toe. Like
Yeah.
spring toe laps, like your bindings get chattery.
Yeah.
But all right, what else? Local news. Todd Richard had a board re-released, his old Moro snowboard. There's a limited run. It's only available in shop, which is kind of cool. So if you remember, that's the one with the dinosaur on it. Kind of came out maybe a little bit before our time, but I do remember that seeing references to that board being out there. It's cool that's being re-released. And the reason I'm mentioning it is it's through Moro, which was based out of Salem, Oregon.
Oh, sick.
Which I actually read Todd's like autobiography back in school. And
Okay.
I remember like reading that and being like, oh, I'm in Oregon. Like,
Uh-huh.
like,
What's the specs on the board? Like, is it a jib board or all mountain?
I
or
imagine
what?
it's
Do you
like
know?
all mountain or pipe. Like he's a pipe
Okay.
dude. So,
Yeah. Would you buy it? Are you gonna buy it?
I
nah?
would like to as like a collector thing or like, just to
Uh-huh.
be able to rip around on it. But I've kind of blown the wad on the snow budget for the year already.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's only 50 of them out there. So maybe someone who wants and needs it a little bit more might,
yeah.
might get their hands
What
on
board
that.
are you gonna ride this winter?
I got a Friday Public Enemy that's still going strong.
Nice.
Which, I'm the dude that I'll eat the same turkey sandwich
It's
every
the
day.
one with the
so,
ski patroller on it?
yeah, the Public Enemy.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So I don't want to change it if it's not broken.
Yeah.
And then I've got another Friday in the wrapper, which it's not the Public Enemy. It's the forgive me for forgetting the name of it. The blue one, blue top sheet with the Friday.
With the graffiti?
Yeah.
The Heritage.
Heritage,
I
there
had
you go.
that one last winter.
Yeah, I like it. Something with a little bit more flex in it. So
It's actually the edge blew out, and I brought it to the rental shop at Timberline, and it's still up there.
okay.
I gotta go get that.
That would damn well.
Yeah, hopefully they pimped it out.
That's gonna be like a new board all over again now.
Yeah. What board are you riding, Pepe?
I got the Suburban Sandwich.
The sandwich board.
Nice.
Yeah, I really want to ride one of those. They're just a little big for me
You rode
for
the,
my wimpy,
the lawnmower,
my
didn't you?
wimpy style. Yeah, I rode it. It was awesome. It was just like big a little bit
Oh,
for
true.
jibbing at the rope toe, but it was
You guys
very
keep
powerful.
talking. I'll make sure we're recording stuff.
Oh yeah, okay. Very powerful board.
Yeah.
Yours is still in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Okay, sick. That's what's up.
We're looking good. Last time our video cut out after 17 minutes, so we're trying to see if we can nail the whole production today. So thank you guys. Yeah, we're gonna get dialed. That was local news. You guys got anything else you want to add into there? Oh, real fast. We got new features going in at the DIY, which is kind of cool. Nice to see some stuff going on there still. Unfortunately, it seems like someone might have tagged them up already, or I don't know. You guys want to get into that?
Yeah, I guess someone wrote "Die Govy Scum" and a smiley face on it. So
Like
I don't know.
a couple hours
don't
after
do
it's
that,
poured,
guys.
yeah. And maybe that's on. Maybe we need to not promote when we're pouring.
Yeah, we
You
were
know?
talking about that a little bit before. Like,
Yeah,
if we're
maybe we
kooks
should put
for
the kibosh on that.
yeah, but I feel like it stoked people out to see us up there working on it. So
Yeah, it's like a toss up
know.
because you want to promote the DIY because we want the support to where we could legitimize it and make it become like something that's cool to have there and like isn't going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
But we also don't want to be like promoting to tweakers or people with ill intention that there's stuff happening there.
And I think at this point, most people know about it. When
Yeah.
I went and got some concrete, actually, on the day of the pour, I went to Mountain Hardware, and I was like, I need 6 bags. And the guy immediately said, for the Govy DIY? Like, he
geez.
probably saw me,
That's
like,
so
as a
cool.
skater.
Yeah.
So people know about it.
And it's a
but
good thing. We're
it is
building
always
like
good
a
to-
park,
Yeah.
you know?
It is
You-
always good to be discreet about DIY. So maybe we blew it a little bit by promoting it
Yeah.
on our stories and stuff. But
Well, it's for the best intentions, and yeah, maybe we'll just keep it low key and keep it good. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer when you put effort into something and then you don't even get to skate it before.
I don't think the
people going.
feature's ruined or anything by any means. A mountain biker hit it too. You can see like a little mountain bike track.
Yeah, were there signs saying like wet cement, don't skate?
There was some stuff in front of the feature, but probably not enough.
Yeah.
Probably should have loaded it up with signs and
Yeah.
other features, but live
Oh,
and
well.
learn. It's still totally skatable. It looks really sick.
Yeah, it looks like a fun new feature. It's shout outs to everyone that put effort into there, and shout outs to Tony G for kind of being the lead charge on that one. Someone's got to take the. I keep saying take the ball and run for it. I'm trying to get away from saying that, but someone's got to be in
gotta take
in lead,
initiative.
yeah, and get everyone together because everyone else wants to see stuff happen, but
Yeah.
it takes someone actually doing
And
it.
also
to get it
shout
done.
out to Justin Washam. He was on episode 1, but he was there really shaping it up, putting in a lot of effort too.
Yep.
So shout out to both of those
Yeah,
guys.
both those guys. So because of that, we are saying Tony G.
Scum of the week.
I almost got it first try. Let's hit. We're going second try of this one. Tony, one more time. Shout outs to you, brother.
Congratulations. You are the scum of the week.
Tony G, you are the scum of the week this week. Lex isn't here to give a DGS merch away, but we do have some Chuuch stuff for you, right, Leif?
Yeah, I got a beanie and a hat. And if you want to sponsor Scum of the Week,
Oh, here we go.
get at us because we're looking for sponsors, right? There was someone that was interested in sponsoring it.
Yeah, I think Lex said that we have someone that's down to sponsor the scum of the week. So
Yeah.
maybe episode 3 you'll hear
Come
hear a
through with
little
those
more about
prizes.
that.
We'll promote you.
But yeah, Tony, you get a
We got
Chuuch beanie.
a puff Chuuch beanie and some other stuff.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, shout outs, Tony. We appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, Tony.
And we're probably going to get some other merch going for our Scum of the Week award winners and also for the people that want to support the show. We have things in the works that we'll be announcing soon for you guys. In the meantime, if you want to support the show, we did start a Patreon, so you can find us there. There will be links on our social media. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. We're not doing this to try and make money, but it does. The equipment costs some money. We have to pay for some subscriptions, and we do have some plans for some like events and things we'd like to do. So if you want to support the podcast, you can do so there. And we're going to figure out some ways to give back to the people that support us.
What's Patreon? It's like GoFundMe, sort of, or
Yeah, I think it's like the same thing. It's like a platform where like we signed it up. It's like the Hood Report podcast.
Yeah.
And then you can set up to where it's like a one-time donation, or you can be on like you can set up $5 a month, $10 a month.
And can't people get prizes or like view special content eventually?
I'm learning about it, but
Okay.
it's as I think that we have access to who has donated, so we
Yeah.
can like maybe send out a sticker pack, or maybe we can have tiers. We need to kind of have a meeting and figure out what we're going to do with it, but
Cool.
that is there for anyone that's super eager to give us money. We'll take it.
Yeah, donate so we can pay Pepe
Yep.
for coming here.
Yeah, we're having to bribe him. Twisted teas ain't free, man.
It's early.
We have to pay off some people in Jersey after Leif's New York trip, so go ahead and donate.
Lexus,
Yeah,
New York.
Or Lexus, yeah, sorry. There's some angry bookies. Well, cool, yeah. Thank you, Tony. We appreciate you. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show. We are going to do a Chuuch deep dive today. Last episode, we got into DGS, and Lex and Leif are both going to be regular co-hosts. So let's cover both sides of the table. And sorry to put you on the spotlight here today. I know you're usually like a pretty low-key dude, and we respect that about you. So thanks for letting us kind of peel back the layers a little bit and take a peek behind the door and learn a little bit about Chuuch,
Sure.
So everyone chimed in with some questions. We have more questions than we can answer today, but we're going to try to get through a bunch of them real fast. I have some personal questions. Maybe we'll hit this one first because this is what everyone was asking. Is it Chuuch or Chuuch?
It's technically Chuuch. So if you say Chuuch, though, that's fine. But then I will know, that you don't know. So that's how I go with it. It's the same with people who call me Leaf. It's like I probably won't correct you, but I'll just know.
Yeah. Well, there is another Leaf in town.
Yeah, there is,
Yeah,
right?
so we have Leaf and Leif.
Now we get really confusing, but that's okay.
Do kids come into the shop and they say, I want this Chuuch?
All the
beanie?
time. I think people might say Chuuch more than Chuuch.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, if
If
you
you're a
know,
real one, though,
it's
right?
Chuuch. And tying on to that, everyone wants to know, where does the name come from?
Oh, man. So it's kind of a long story. Should we get into
We got
Chuuch
time,
or
yeah.
whatever?
Yeah, no. Let's get into
Okay.
it.
And I was like kind of thinking about this earlier.
Because people ask, they're like, does it mean church? Does it mean like so
Well,
many people?
so
A quarter
Chuuch-
of the questions are
Chuuch-
like, what does it mean?
Yeah, Chuuch just means amen. It's like in a bunch of rap songs. And people
Okay.
are like, Chuuch.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to kind of mean church, but it's like slang for Chuuch. So,
Okay.
like Lil Wayne and Snoop Dogg, they all say Chuuch. And there's like some songs that say Chuuch too. So that's what it means.
Yeah.
But
It's a reference to that. It's a reference to,
Yeah.
to what, yeah.
So like in I guess we'll go into the history of this Chuuch. Is that where you want to go?
Sure. Well,
Okay.
I had always assumed that was like my first video that I saw of Chuuch was
Yeah,
like
what
a
was the-
Salt Lake video or something. So I always
Yes.
thought it was just like kind of poking at the whole like Mormon church out
Yeah.
there or whatever. I was just like, oh yeah, it's like a Salt Lake video. It's like Chuuch.
Yeah. So actually, that's not really true.
Okay.
So Chuuch is actually started, is kind of where I started hearing it was from other people. So shout out my friend Kevin Cummings and Nat Turner and Alex Collar. I kind of first started hearing them say Chuuch back like when I was in high school. And so they actually had videos that were called Chuuch. Matt Turner, this filmer, he started making these videos called Chuuch.
Okay.
And I kind of just started repping it, Chuuch. Like it wasn't anything official. It wasn't like a brand, but it was just these videos. I have a couple clips in the videos.
And those are homies like at your school or like?
Yeah,
just,
I
like,
knew this Kevin
growing up?
Cummings. His nickname's Cornbread, so I'll refer to him as Cornbread. I knew him from my school. He's a little bit younger than me, but I saw him, and he was like, I'm from Forest Grove, so there's not a lot of snowboarders out there, but he was one of the few people that was also like a snowboarder. And so I like kind of became friends with him, and he was a heavy rep in Chuuch. And so I kind of just like trickle down, started repping Chuuch as well. And then, you know, I'm just a snowboarder, go by a couple years, and then I start filming. And when I started filming, people were kind of like, well, you have to come up with a name. Like you have to be a brand or like a crew. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of just took the name. I thought Chuuch was cool. And so I just kind of ran with that, and I just kept making videos under Chuuch.
Under Chuuch.
So,
did you ever have a different name that you made videos under, or has it always been
There was one other
Chuuch?
crew, because I was living in Montana, going to school there, and
Okay.
we'd shred at this place called Lolo Pass. We had a bunch of rails there, and so we'd go by the Low Zone crew.
Yeah, I saw some of that because
So
I
there's
was
some
I was
Low Zone
dude. I
crew,
watched every video
like
on your YouTube.
Chuuch videos,
for this
collab.
episode.
But yeah, so shout out to Cornbread and Matt Turner. Those are like the original guys that started saying Chuuch. And they're actually in some of the earlier videos, like Full Service, Church, If You're Scared, Go to Chuuch.
Okay.
So when I moved to Salt Lake, I kind of just started repping Chuuch because I always thought it was cool. And that's like some of the more popular videos. But it actually started here in Oregon at Mount Hood.
In Forest Grove.
Yeah, in Forest Grove. And just a bunch of those other guys were from like Hillsboro, Beaverton. Matt Turner was from Canby, Oregon. And so we kind of always just met up at Mount Hood.
Sick.
And
When
like,
was the first time you went to Hood?
the first time, super early on, I'm from Oregon, so I like started skiing in like, I think my parents took me up there in 1992 when I was like 2 years old.
So you grew up as a
Yeah,
kid
I grew
skiing.
up, even though
and then-
Forest Grove is kind of a couple hours
Yeah,
away.
that's a stretch. It's
probably 2
bit, yeah.
hours. But
It's all
my
the way on
mom,
the west side of Portland.
Yeah, my mom always skied, so we'd go skiing. And then I started snowboarding when I was about 11 or 12.
Is that about the same time you started skating?
I
or-
started skating like a year earlier and then switched to snowboarding.
Okay.
And then I kind of got into park snowboarding in high school. That's like when most people kind of figure it out. And then we started kind of I started being in those videos like my senior year of high school, like when I was like 18 or 19.
It's like making homie videos.
Yeah, making the homie videos. And that guy, Matt Turner, he was the dude that made all the videos first.
Is that who kind of taught you how to film, or were you guys using his camera, or what was your first camera?
So we were using his camera. It's actually this VX 2000 that he gave me.
Oh, sick.
This
You still have it.
This camera's kind of interesting. Yeah.
For those who are just listening, it's sitting in front of Leif.
Yeah. So I would just film some homie shots, but I was mostly a rider. I just like rode with those guys and got a couple clips. But this camera's kind of interesting. He ended up giving it to me like 5 years ago. And you can see
We have a bunch of cameras on the table, so maybe for our listeners, we'll have to go through them at some point here. But
we got all my rigs.
yeah.
But you can see on this camera, there's an 09 sticker and a finger on the trigger sticker. And so Matt Turner, he told me that he got this camera from a kid whose dad was a Tech 9 rep, like in Canby. And so there's like a rumor that it might be Cole Taylor's camera. It might have filmed some FODT clips.
Damn.
And so I actually messaged Cole Taylor. I'm a big Tech 9 fan.
Yeah.
And I said, is there a chance this is your camera that you used in some of your videos? And he wasn't for certain, but he said maybe or probably. Like,
That's so sick.
so I still have that camera. It's pretty busted right now. It does turn on, but I want to repair it up.
Dude,
and
if you're
film
not
some
a
Chuuch
Tech
clips
9
with
fan,
it.
something's wrong with you.
Yeah, right.
Everyone loves some Tech 9.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so sick.
So yeah, and then
Random too. That a Tech 9 camera would be in Canby, Oregon.
yeah, and
You
I
know?
think when Matt got the camera, it had the Tech 9 stickers on. He might have put them on there. I don't know, but I think they were already on there when he got it. But I always remember him filming and like repping those stickers.
That's so sick. Not to steal the spotlight for a second, but
yeah.
Mark Frank is an old family friend.
Yeah, I think
Before I
you- I
even
think you
snowboarded,
messaged
he would
that.
come and stay at the house because my parents were
Damn.
selling a Monavi underneath him and like the pyramid scheme of
Uh-huh.
it.
Did you ever meet Cole Taylor or E Stone? Did those guys like ever come out? And
Not that
'Cause
I
they filmed at
remember,
Mount
but
Hood.
again, it was before I started snowboarding. I was just like 100% skating at the time. So I'm like, oh, these dudes like rip at skating. This is sick. Like, and you know, they're giving us like clothes. Like, this is cool because they'd also like kick us. He was trying to start sound for a second.
Yeah.
So like, I
I had a
have some
sound
old like
jacket.
sound outerwear and stuff.
You still have it?
Not through the moves, I
Dude,
lost
oh,
it,
man.
but yeah, maybe we'll try. I don't know if we'll be able to get Marco, but I'm going to try.
Yeah,
We'll-
you
we'll
have his
see.
contact info? Kind of ish.
Send me some money. I'll sell you Marco's contact info. I'm just playing. But yeah, that'd be sick to be able to get him. I know he's kind of like out of the snow scene these
Yeah,
days.
he doesn't do that much with snowboarding. huh?
Maybe if we try and do some other business with him, he'll do it.
Yeah.
But dude, that's cool. So yeah, so we covered kind of where you're from. How did you start skating? Do you remember?
How did I start
Or
skating?
like what year you started skating?
Actually, that's kind of a cool story too. It was in 5th grade, and I was going to basketball practice, and it was at the high school, and I saw this skateboard there that somebody had left at the high school, and so I like grabbed the skateboard. It was like dark, and I like begged my parents. I was like, "Let me keep this skateboard and ride it." And they're like, "No, we got to go to the skate shop and like find out whose board this is. You can't just take this board." So we went to the skate shop. It was called the Armory. And I remember going in there. It was a really cool
Is that
experience.
in Forest Grove?
It was in Forest Grove.
Okay.
And they were like, "Yeah, this was one of our riders' boards. And he just left it. And so you can just have it." And it was like pretty busted, like the tail, but it had like trucks. It was a complete.
Just he left it complete there.
Yeah, I think the tail was all chipped or something. He must have been. There were spots. Pepe and I actually have skated at the Forest Grove High School. There's a couple cool spots there, like
Okay.
manual pads. So he must have been like skating there trying to get a trick or something and got frustrated and like
walked
just
away
left
from
his
it.
board there. But
That's
they,
sick,
they were
though.
like
Destiny.
I
Then
can't
you got
remember
a board.
who the dude was, whose skateboard it was, but at the skate shop they're like, "Yeah, you can keep the board." And so that's like how I started skating.
That's awesome.
And then eventually I got like I went back to the Armory and got a Tony Hawk Birdhouse. Was my first like new board. But I skated that first board for a while. Oh man, I think it was a Zoo York
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
What year is that? Sorry if you.
That was
said it already.
my 5th grade, so I was probably like 11. So it was probably 2001,
Okay.
2000 or something around
Yeah.
there.
Prime time to get into skating.
Pretty prime time, right?
Yeah.
Like the skate shop business was booming. I went to that skate shop and it was super sick. And yeah.
That's awesome. Going through that. Let's when did we got other questions on here, but let's just roll into the video. So I went and
Okay.
maybe before we do that, this is one more personal question. How would you describe Chuuch to somebody that doesn't know what it is? If I were to go and describe, because you know it's not necessarily a board brand. It's
Right.
not exactly just a soft goods brand. It's kind of like a video production. Like I'm sorry to ask you to put something that's so creative and like free flowing into a box, but if we were to put it into a box, how would you describe it? Is it a
Right.
soft goods company? Is it a video company?
I would say, yeah, I just tell people that I make skateboard and snowboard videos
Okay.
and sell merch. But it does go quite a bit deeper than that. It's almost like a cult following in some aspects. But yeah, just like a video production.
Yeah, it's kind of like
brand, I guess you would say.
it's kind of a label that like I tie in my mind. When I think of it, I think of just like the group of like people across the country that and like you know just within snowboarding that are like a part of that.
And
bubble.
I think that in its own way is what makes it so cool is that it's not just like a brand. It's I don't know. It's kind of all over the place.
It seemed like it started
It makes it
organically.
very mysterious.
Yeah, it was just it. How did it start? You were just making homie videos, and then
Well, yeah,
kinda
those
made
dudes
some
were
merch
making
off of
video.
it.
Those dudes were making videos, and then yeah, I lived in Salt Lake, and I made those 4 videos. Full service, church. If you're scared, go to Chuuch, and the passion of the Chuuch.
maybe we can walk through those. What was the full service? That was the first video you ever made.
Yeah, that was the first video, and
You kind of hit it. Like I was impressed
it was
with that being your first
it
video
was a decent video.
go watch it if you haven't seen it. It's on your YouTube, on the Chuuch channel. And there's Alaska footage, like big mountain riding.
Yeah.
There's night shots. There's like insane rail riding that kind of keeps up with standards from today. And that thing's like what, 13 years old or something like
I
that.
think that was 2012.
Yeah.
or
So the
something. Yeah, it's
fact that
almost
you've
15
never
years.
filmed a video and you're just out there and you have access to these riders and
Yeah.
all of that, like how did that come together?
I just after I was done going to school in Montana, I always spent the summers at Hood. So I just moved back to Hood, and I started I started buying a couple video camera accessories. Like, I was just working at Timberline, and my first camera was a T2i, just a DSLR, and I would spend all my paycheck getting the fisheye and then the easy handle and the microphone. And then at the end of that summer, I was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm done with school. And I just...
That's a different camera than the one that's on the table.
Yeah, I don't have that DSLR
Okay.
anymore. I ended up selling it to upgrade.
Anyways.
But I saw a bunch of people in Salt Lake, and actually like friends of mine, Andrew Nagel and Jeff Holz, who I'd met at Mount Hood before, and they were making a video. It's called Secos. Have you guys ever heard of Secos?
I'll
Super
have to look into it.
exclusive gentleman's club of snowboarding.
Okay.
So he had a whole group of friends of his, and they were making a really sick street video. And there was this other filmer called Connor Brown, and he was making a sick video called This Must Be the Place. He was also from Oregon. Anyway, so I saw these dudes filming that I knew, and I was like, I want to move to Salt Lake and make my own videos, because I was interested in street snowboarding at the time, but I was kind of just a rider. But I decided to pick up the camera and make my own videos, and so I just...
What year is this? This is 2010?
This is 2012.
2012?
So I just moved out to Salt Lake and just sort of went for it. And I stayed at Jeff Holz's house for the first couple weeks, and then Andrew Nagel and I ended up getting a spot together, also with my buddy Ryan Ting and a couple other snowboarders, Dylan Treewin and Sean Whitaker. And we were just filming all the time and just went right into it.
Dude, you had some legit riders off the bat, like, Jeff Holz is up in it now.
Yeah.
Like, how did you guys meet? Just on Hood?
I think, yeah, just from snowboarding, from being a snowboarder, I feel like people just felt pretty comfortable filming with me because they knew, I'm not just some media guy.
Yeah,
because
there's like every season there's like a new face up there with a camera that's trying to like claw their way into like the groups. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And sometimes those people stick around, and maybe it's just your first year seeing them, but sometimes everyone knows that guy. And they dissolve away.
And so. I think snowboard filming's a little glorified. Like, it's not as cool as you think it is. It's kind of repetitive, and you're waiting around. But if you're actually a snowboarder and you love snowboarding, then filming just kind of comes second nature.
It organically comes together.
So I just loved filming and loved like going to those spots, trying to not film ABDs, and just trying to find new spots. And so for those 4 years I lived in Salt Lake, it just like kind of became my life, and I kind of became established filmer.
Yeah, it's sick. How many years did you guys film for Full Service? That was just
one year. So all those videos were just 1 year projects.
So we had Full Service, and that was the first video, like we said, and it was pretty heavy. And then after that, we had Passion of the Chuuch was the next one.
There's actually two others in between there. There's a video called Chuuch with 2 U's.
Okay.
That one actually got taken down off YouTube.
Okay.
But it's re-uploaded to my Vimeo.
Is that the one that Jeff was in?
Jeff
Hopkins?
Jeff Hopkins, yeah, he has a couple really good clips.
My personal favorite writer of all time, Jeff
Right?
Hopkins. If you're listening, we miss you on Hood, and I hope you're
Another
gonna have
Oregon
a good one.
guy.
Yeah, but his shot on like the red thing, where I don't know if it's cab or regular, but like 180 on to front board.
Yep.
Just
yeah,
like
that was that
one
video.
of the shots that lives rent free in my brain.
That was that video, Chuuch.
Yeah.
So I like Full Service, but I really like that Chuuch video because I feel like that was the first year where I was really trying to go to spots that weren't ABD, and like each clip was trying to be important. Versus like the Full Service video was really sick, but we were just sessioning as hard as we could.
You're just kind of
we
filming
kind of went
what
to
you
some
guys are
flayed
doing.
spots, I would say. 10 years later, no one remembers what has been done, but at the time, I really liked that Chuuch video. It was a little shorter. I think it was like 15 minutes.
Could people find that anywhere?
Yeah, it's on my Vimeo.
Okay.
Leif Drasman
Is Vimeo
French.
still
Yeah,
around?
so Vimeo is still down. I still have some of my videos on Vimeo, but most of them are up on YouTube.
Sick. We're gonna have to like re-release a hard copy of like.
It's funny, at the time Vimeo was so popular.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you had to have your videos on Vimeo. But one of my friends, Alex Holscher, he was like a video guy, and he said, "Well, why don't you put your videos on YouTube? Because it's gonna be way more popular." And it was actually a really good idea. I'm stoked, kind of, that all my videos on YouTube.
Have you ever monetized your YouTube?
It was monetized for a little bit. I think I made like $15.
Sick.
But the problem was that all my videos just had music that was copyrighted.
Oh yeah, that's one of the questions: is how do you get around copywriting?
in the graphics or in the video or in the music?
Maybe both.
Well, in the music, I'll just use copyrighted tracks, and on YouTube, as long as your account isn't monetized, I think just those artists get the ad revenue.
Okay.
So I just like waived all the ad revenue to
You're
use
just
music
doing it for
that
the
I
people
liked.
because it's worth it.
And
Yeah,
then for like the
respect.
graphics, like a lot of my graphics are rip-offs or, you know, famous people holding cameras or whatever, stuff that might be copyrightable, like you say.
Yeah.
But my theory is I haven't got any cease and desist or anything like that. My theory is it's just too small. That those people just don't see that stuff. And a lot of the stuff just goes up on the story, like the merch just goes on the story. So it's not like out there on the internet for that long.
Yeah. But
So nothing
it's sick.
yet.
You got some cool collabs. Like, you know, his microphone, I don't know if you can see on the camera, has a sticker right now. It's a Scarface, but instead of the gun, he's got that camera right there. He's
There's
just giving the
picture of
people
me
some
and
church.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah,
It's pretty good too.
It's some good plays.
Yeah.
Well, sick. So we had Chuuch, and then dude, in between there's the Kyle Harmon. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
With the rib slam, that thing's brutal.
Yeah, that was filming for that video Church, I believe. And yeah, that sucked. He went into that. There's like a separated
He goes
rail.
to gap to like a down rail, but it's like one of those scenarios where it's like the rail's like every 3 stairs has like a fat like foot long gap in it.
Yeah.
It seems like, and he just like lands right in between there, straight to the ribs.
Yeah.
And then it looks like you guys had to go to the hospital.
was
You had
kind
to
of a
get rib
shitty
surgery. It's
experience.
so gnarly.
Because to get to that spot, it was like kind of a mid spot, honestly. It was kind of small, but it was kind of cool. But to get to that spot, we like jumped the fence and like through the drop-in ramp over the fence and everything. So and then
once
he got
was
hurt.
dusted,
We had to like
you had to crawl out.
Yeah, or like I think they just like bolt cutted. I think we had bolt cutters, so we cut the gate so it looked like the gate was open.
Oh, okay.
And luckily
Did he have to go out
they
like
had to
ambulance?
Yeah, they had to ambulance him,
damn.
and then they had to life flight him, I think, to the like University of Utah hospital.
Damn.
It was super gnarly. One of the worst injuries that I've like experienced
Yeah, I
while
was just
filming.
scrolling through
But
the
luckily-
catalog and saw that. I was like, oh,
Yeah, luckily he was okay, and he's back living life and snowboarding and such.
dang. Well, that's
So,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. I've had some rib injuries, nothing like that, thankfully, but
Yeah,
no
that's
fun.
not a fun one that you want to take impact to your internal organs.
No.
So
Dude, I had a rib pop out this year on the toe, following you into a rail.
Really?
Yeah, last thing I remember is seeing Pepe hop onto the flat bar at the very bottom.
yeah,
And then I go to hop on, and I'm not going to make it to the end, so I like go to squib off. I'm like, front board, so I'm like kind of crossed up, and just something about the pressure. I think my rib was already loose from like another injury.
Yeah.
And then when I landed, it just shot out, and then I was just done, like on my knees. Had
you,
to like
you tacoed.
no,
Or-
nothing bad happened
Oh,
at
it
all. I
just,
just
like,
came off
twisted
early
up.
and moved wrong.
Oh yeah.
Man.
And I think I had like an injury from a couple weeks before, and it just like the cartilage was already torn and popped out. But
Yeah.
that's
Have
why I
you-
saw the homie's rib injury. I was just like, oh my god, that looks.
Have you guys ever gotten injured at like a street spot or anything?
Knock on wood. Not like, I mean, yeah, nothing that comes up. It's always been like in the resort or like at an event
Yeah.
or something like that. Or like street skating, ankles and
Yeah.
things like that. But
But
yeah,
have you
knock
guys
on
ever
wood.
had an
not
injury
like
where
not
you had
like
to-
that?
Have you guys ever had an injury where you had to get rushed to the hospital or anything like that?
Dude, we've been in the hospital like more times than I can count in the last 2 years between Morgan and
Oh,
I.
yeah,
Both of us,
uh-huh.
just like it's been like one or the. There's one point in time, I was in there in a sling, and then we went in for Morgan to get stitches because she like cut her leg doing something, and just
Damn.
the looks you get at the doctors when it's
are
a
these
couple walking
people?
in and both of I had a black eye at the time too. Like we were doing jujitsu, so like I was getting banged up.
Damn. How about you, Pepe? You got any major injuries while you're out filming or anything, or
Never
you
filming,
keep it pretty
but
safe?
I had to get like some stitches, and I don't really remember like the whole day.
You got concussed?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was at 9th and 9th.
Skate park in or
Yeah,
in Oregon or in Utah?
Utah, Salt Lake. But yeah, it was like 12 stitches or something. I remember just like waking up, or like I was conscious the whole time,
Uh-huh.
but I was asking the same question like
Serious
over
concussion.
and over, and then I remember being like, why am I asking?
Yeah.
I just asked this, and then everyone was like, oh, looks like you're doing much better now. Or
What were you trying? Do you remember?
Apparently I was trying to do like a back 50 around like the bowl in the back corner,
Yeah.
and then somebody like cut under me or something. I don't know.
Oh, damn.
I don't remember any of it. So
And yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, injuries are no fun.
I don't know if this happens to you guys with concussions, but I also know I'm concussed if I like feel deja vu.
Okay.
Like the deja vu waves will hit, and then like I'll be like, oh god, I'm gonna puke, and then yeah, I've had a lot of concussions.
I've been lucky. I don't think I've had any major concussions. I do have a good concussion story though. Was with Pat Fava. Actually, he was filming with us.
I was gonna say it's another big name that
Yeah.
I was excited to see in your
He was
videos.
filming with us for the Passion of the Chuuch, which is the 4th video, and it was like one of the first times I'd met him. We had been filming for like a weekend. Brandon Hobush actually introduced me to him, and we ended up at this like gap to picnic table spot, and he was gapping into it, and he tried to do a front one out and like caught his front edge and died.
I've
This
seen
is the clip. Yeah, the
Yeah.
clip is out for sure. And I always remember like one of the clips is like we're showing him the clip, and he's like, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, scary.
And but it was like that was one of my first introductions to Pat Five. It was just him going really hard. Like he got like 4 or 5 really good clips, and then he got like concussed at that spot.
Jeez, how did you guys meet up? Just being in Utah?
Yeah, being in
Riding
Utah,
Salt
you
Lake.
guys remember Brandon Hobush?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember him, Pepe? Mm-hmm. He was a pretty sick rider, like a big pro for a while. And I was filming with him actually for that Passion of the Chuuch video, and he's like, "Oh, I invited this other kid. You're gonna really like him." And Pat Favre is from Cedar City, and he came up with one of his friends, and they like hit spots with us for a week.
So you just
that's kind of how I met him.
Did you like send it out to Utah to Jeff's couch?
Yeah.
And then just kind of started branching out from there, and
Yeah,
that's how you met people?
I found my own spot with Andrew Nagel, and I would still always come back to Hood in the summer, and then just go back to winters out there.
Were you working out in Utah also?
Yeah, I worked at backcountry.com. Actually, was my job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I worked
were
at
you
that
doing there?
website. I was just working in the call center.
Okay.
But it was kind of a funny job, but it was sick. I don't know. There was freedom. When I was working there, I would always just go because I was a chatter. I would customer service chat with people,
Mm-hmm.
but I would always go on Google Maps and just like look around
You're
for
just, like,
schools.
scoping spots
Yeah, I would
while
go
you're
scope
chatting with them. That's
and
awesome.
I'd write down the address, and after work, I would like go and drive to the spots and like see if they were any good.
That's so sick.
So I actually found a couple really good spots. I mean, a lot of it was duds or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wasn't a great employee there. I was always like kind of goofing off and looking at Google Maps.
That's awesome.
But it was a chill job.
Pepe, did you live in Salt Lake too? You said you got the concussion at 9th. Was that, how long were you in Salt Lake for?
Yeah, I lived in Salt Lake for 3 years.
Did you move from New York to there,
Yep.
and then
And then from there to here.
there to here?
Yeah.
What years did you live there?
I think 15 through 18.
Okay.
And I think we talked about this.
There might have been 1 year that we were
Yeah.
living there together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I lived there from like 12 to 16, I think it was.
I think we just missed each other also because I think I was there. I thought I was there the year after you guys went,
Yeah.
but maybe like I thought I moved there the year after Chuuch because I believe that was one of the decisions or one of the things that led to our decision because we were torn. We're like, do we want to move to Park City and ride Park City, or do we want to move to North Star? Because
Yeah.
both of those were like where the scene was at the time. It
Right.
seemed like,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know one from the other. I'd never been either place, and then seeing the homies footage from Salt Lake, I'm like, that looks like the spot. Let's go out there. So we moved out for a year, and my roommate was Kai.
Yeah, I feel like I remember seeing some clips of you. Did you hit some street spots, Donovan, when you
Yeah,
lived
we went
there?
out. Kai and our homie Cambo, we went out there and we were out there every day. We tried to, we knew nothing, dude. We went out
Yeah.
there. We actually like filmed a decent little video.
Yeah. I think
And then came home, uploaded it to Facebook, and was like, my job's done. My phone should ring any moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I had
you
no
thought you
idea
made it?
how it worked. Yeah.
Dude.
And then, like, a couple days later, my phone never rang. I was like, oh, I guess I better go back to school and, like, start working,
I think I remember seeing the clips of you, and that's like kind of how I like met you. But there was this one spot that has like 2 down bars on it, and maybe like a little small kink in it. And I feel like I saw you hitting that and like messaged
Like, 2
you.
down bars. Like,
It's like at this school. Maybe I'm.
is
maybe
it
it's
down,
just-
like a down flat down?
it's a down bar, but it has like a very small kink in the middle. Did you hit that spot? And I like messaged you about it, asking where it was.
No, we hit like this really long down bar where like it was knobbed. We might have. I don't know. It was a
might have
while
been
ago.
knobbed. Anyways, I went to that spot.
It's like out of school.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think that's like where I first like heard of you.
I think I got a buttered around like front blunt swivel switch 53 out.
Yeah, I think I just remember seeing you hit the spot because at the time I was just looking for spots.
Yeah.
So I'd watch all the clips if I could.
Okay, so maybe we were there the year before you were.
Do you remember me like hitting you up, asking you where that was or anything?
Maybe we'll have to pour into it and go look
Okay.
at the videos and stuff. But
we hit that spot for my first video full service, so it might have been the wrong time frame. But,
okay, I'll have to look again.
uh,
Yeah,
tr-
Salt Lake's sick. It's cool that everyone was out there and like I don't know, the connection between Mount Hood and Salt Lake has always been really strong, and everyone kind of popping from here to there.
Yeah, it's so close. It's only like 8 or 10 hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
So to spend winters out there and then summers back here wasn't super inconvenient.
It's cool to be able to like feel like you travel so far from your home, and then because I'm from Mount Hood area, and then you show up in a place and there's all these familiar faces, and it still feels like home. It's like the bubble is pretty tight. But yeah, so we had full service, then Chuuch, and then Passion of the Chuuch. Some of the highlights in Passion of the Chuuch that I liked, dude, that road gap was massive. You guys were hitting like an urban road gap in that one.
By Alex Lockwood?
Yeah,
that was
nuts.
That was a really sick clip. That's in Sioux Falls, actually.
Okay.
That's where Alex his family lives there. So we took 2 trips that winter and like stayed with his family and hit all these street spots.
And where's the
that no one
funding
goes
for all
to.
this coming from? Is it just you guys are just doing this on your own? There's no
pretty
major
much.
brand support?
I mean, there was maybe a couple small sponsors, but I think for that Passion one, not even.
And we skipped over. Is that kind of where the merch comes in? Like, what was your first
Not
merch
not
or first
actually.
product that you made?
There was a little bit of Chuuch merch, like made by Matt Turner, and for that church video, we made a couple pieces that just like went to the riders. But the merch actually didn't come about until I moved back to Oregon.
Okay.
And
Which
that,
was what, like 2014 or?
that was 2016, 17. I moved
Okay.
back to Oregon, and I started actually. I was like, what I did to make money for all the videos was I would go and actually trim weed in California. I did that for like 2 falls, and I would go work for this dude for like 2 or 3 months consecutively, and then have like a pretty good amount of cash.
Okay.
So that's how I got the.
I remember kind of seeing some photos
Yeah.
of stuff. I'm like, is this where the Chuuch money's coming from?
So the Passion of the Chuuch, I had like a good amount of money and I didn't work, and
Sick.
that was a great video because I had like some free time. And then the next year I went and worked for this guy, and unfortunately one of my cameras broke and my car broke down, and so I was like, I don't think I'm gonna move back to Utah. So I was kind of defeated almost, like, man, I didn't make it in the industry, kind of like how no one called you on your phone after your video dropped. So I was like, I'm just gonna move back to Hood. I always spend summers in the Hood. I'll try a winter at the Hood. And I remember going riding up at Ski Bowl. It was a really nice powder day, and I met up with Cam and Griffin Frygard and Cam Week, and I ended up getting a job at Ski Bowl Terrain Parks. And that year, we actually had an incredible winter here in Oregon, and it snowed in Portland. And so Cam and I went and filmed for about 2 weeks straight in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And we made this video called Extreme Home Video.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool because I kind of at the time thought I was going to give up on filming street because I didn't live in Salt Lake anymore. It doesn't snow that much here in Oregon. But I was like, wow, I'm doing this street stuff again. I'm like pretty good at going filming, getting clips. The riders were really sick.
That was a
were part of Board
magical
Over
like
Brains.
2 weeks. Also, I was
Yeah.
living in a studio downtown Portland when that happened.
Did you go and get some clips?
Yeah, I was like, I kind of wasn't snowboarding as heavily for a couple years, and that was like during that period.
Yeah.
But I was still like, you know, had a snowboard, still riding and stuff. But Scrappy Joe and I were pretty tight at the time, and it was kind of before Scrappy had his last couple years in Govy. It was a little before that, but he would come down and stay at my spot, and we'd go and like film clips, and I just thought it was sick to like roll around and like help him get his footage because it was insane at the time, like shoveling and like, I don't know, say what you want about skiers, but going and being on scene with skiers is like pretty insane. Like they just go a little bit I think
go-
they're
they
able
go
to go a little
crazy.
bit bigger and stuff. Yeah.
The problem with like filming with skiers is like they kind of overshadow the snowboarders. Like
Yeah.
they just like go. I don't know. They're just so hungry for it.
I was gonna ask about that because you were pretty tied in with the Hood crew.
Yeah.
Just did you film for them
the
ever?
Hood,
or-
so the Hood crew is kind of like a side thing to the Chuuch.
Okay.
So in the early videos of Chuuch, actually, the Hood crew's like there's like a segment in one of the Hood crew videos where it's like flashes like Chuuch crew, and it's like Matt Turner, Cornbread, and I filmed all those clips. Actually, it was like one of the first times I was filming with that DSLR, the T2i. So I always remember that being pretty cool. And the Hood crew was really popular. Like even to this day, they're more popular than Chuuch.
yeah.
So I would, we'd
I'd
go
love to have
film-
some of the Hood crew on here at some point too.
Right?
Like,
could
we have to
we
do
should
that.
have Freed on here.
We should have Freed on here, and like maybe we should do like a pulse check on Scrappy and see how he's doing. He's
Yeah, I
he's
think he's
over
doing
in
all right.
Europe, and it seems like he's doing great now.
Yeah.
He's living in the Alps and just
But the
ripping
Hood, the
powder.
Hood crew was sick. They were a big inspiration. But they did always like want me to film clips for them. Because Freed was more of an editor than a filmer, and he was like a rider too.
Yeah.
So we definitely filmed some clips for him, but they were like always pretty wild.
Yeah, they go for
and
it.
they have different spots.
You guys kind of definitely had like the same vibe, and that's something
Yeah.
I noted too. Is like you popped up and were making edits in like the heyday of like the electro dubstep era, and you navigated all that bullshit so perfectly. Like, good job,
There's
dude.
not too much electronic, but in the passion of
not
the
not
Chuuch-
everyone can say that, you know.
Yeah, in the passion of the Chuuch, there are some sick skier shots, and I shout out the Hood crew. It's like Foster Meeks and Brad Bolzan have a couple clips.
Yeah.
So we kind of go back in that first Hood crew video. There's a shout out to Chuuch crew, and in that passion of the Chuuch, there's like a shout out to the Hood crew.
And you guys,
So, I don't know.
all of it's like big, like gangster vibes. Like,
Yeah, a lot of rap music.
the music's really good. It's like kind of the similar vibe all the way through. So yeah, they get you pumped to go ride. You want to take a couple less speed checks after watching a few of those videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to the merch, so I did that Board Over Brains video. I'll just touch on it. And they did a really dope premiere at Skyway.
I was there for that.
You went to that?
Yep.
Did you go, Pepe? Were you there for that one?
No.
I remember feeling so out of tune of the local community because
Uh-huh.
that's why I was like, I'll kind of go through these waves where I'll spend 2 or 3 years being so far into skating, and then I'll flip and get burnt out and get really into snowboarding again, and like kind of go back and forth. So I was really into skating at that time.
Yeah.
And was like working at Wendell's and whatever, and went with everyone to go see the premiere.
Yeah.
And then that the premiere happened. I'm like, oh my god, this is what all the friends up on the mountain have been up to.
And there was
this
sick,
is insane.
But there was sick skating in that video that you
It
probably
was
knew.
so
Casey
sick.
Tracks,
Dude, I felt so
Robert.
much FOMO watching that thing though. I
Yeah.
was like, I want to be a part of this so
thought-
bad. I'm seeing all the homies up on here. It looks so sick.
Yeah,
They're
Board Over
killing
Brains.
it.
Board Over Brains was sick.
Yeah.
But so
Anyways.
that year,
The premiere at Skyway was sick.
it was sick. Around that time, or a little bit before that, I actually kind of started linking up with the Sandwich guy, and I saw him riding and filming, and I actually like went to one of his spots with Casey Mitchell and Ian Sullivan were there, and it was this like stump, and I actually ollie the stump, and it's one of the clips in the first Sandwich videos. But I was like, oh, I want to start filming for this Sandwich stuff. So that summer, after the premiere of Extreme Home Video, Sandwich and I made a video where I'm filming HD and he's filming SD, and we put together this video that was pretty sick. It's actually called Certified Hood Classic, I think. I think that's what it's called, like HD versus SD. But Sandwich was like,
Is that the one with the ski wheel rail in it, or that's the
no,
Sandwich
this was
video?
one of the. This
That's
is like a
new
summer
Sandwich
video.
Okay.
But the Sandwich guy was like, Aaron Kaiser. He was like, you gotta rep Chuuch in your section. So I kind of started like, because for that, like the Board Over Brains, I wasn't really repping Chuuch. I was
But
like,
you guys
Chuuch is-
made merch for that video, right? I remember seeing everyone having the extreme.
no, not
Or no, that was Home Invasion.
So back to the first Sandwich video, this like HD SD video. We make that, it comes out, it's really sick. And then that next winter I make the Home Invasion video, which is kind of like going after like slightly smaller spots and like filming a lot of fisheye, but still HD. And that summer we do like another Skyway premiere, and we did a bunch of merch for that.
Okay.
Cam Weeg actually printed them here at BDK, and I like had the premiere. The premiere also had a Board Over Brains video, a Sandwich teaser, and a Mount Hood Riders video. And also Arlen had a video promoting his skate shop, Evade. And so that was a huge premiere. Did you go to that one?
Yeah, also at Skyway. That
Yeah.
thing was insane.
And I made like 100 T-shirts or something and sold a bunch of them, and that's kind of where I got into making merch and putting out videos at the same time to kind of promote the merch.
So if you have one of those T-shirts, that is the first Chuuch.
It's kind of,
merchandise.
yeah, I mean, there was, like I said, there was a couple earlier merch pieces, but they were very limited. That was one of the first ones that I made and that I like sold at this event and then also sold online and shipped to
And you
people.
still see them around.
Yeah.
Sick.
So that's kind of how the merch came about. And then since then, it's just been trying to do videos and release merch with promoting the videos and stuff like that.
While we're talking about Sandwich,
Yeah.
let's talk about the ski bowl rail. Dude,
Yeah.
you were there that night.
Yeah. So
You wanna talk about that?
Yeah, I'll go into this. So after that Home Invasion premiere, unfortunately that year I tore my ACL, so I was injured. And there was another really sick Sandwich video that he made that I didn't get to film because I was injured and they were like hiking around. So that next winter, I convinced him, I'm like, you got to live at Hood and we got to make a big video. And so I ended up buying a VX and like getting into VX filming because I was like, I got to get a camera that matches the Sandwich so all our footage can be the same. And I'm pretty sure it was that next winter. We're filming all winter and we're like, we got to get a banger clip. And we go to the ski bowl rail and like make that session
What time
happen.
of year was that?
I think that was around the end of May.
Okay.
And so there wasn't any snow there.
So you had to bring snow into it.
We had to bring snow. We had a whole squad of people there, and we used Jordan Finney's truck to bring snow down there. But there was Andy Glatter was there, Casey Mitchell, Harrison Huber, filmer Ben McCabe, Aaron Kaiser Sandwich, myself, Sam Klein, and then it ended up being Eric Louie, who's from Minnesota, who like laced the rail.
Which I remember him being at camp. We
Yeah.
worked at camp together. I didn't know him super well because I was doing the skate program and he was doing, I believe, I think he might have been a counselor.
Yeah, and I think he even was set to work at camp that summer.
Yeah. I just remember seeing him like roll around on roller skates
Yeah,
at the
he's a
skate
roller
park.
skater.
Dude, we had the skate competition going on like that you do at camp
Yeah.
every week or whatever. You know, Camp Am is what we used to call it.
Yeah.
And he bust out it in like a ballerina outfit and roller skates, just like cruising around. And that was my only impression of him. I had no idea who this person was other than that
No,
moment.
really sick snowboarder.
And then the other thing that I see, the next thing is him lacing the ski bowl
Right.
rail. I'm like, who is this guy?
But that was a really sick session. Like, I think we'd been planning to hit it that winter, but it just hadn't really quite worked out. And I'm pretty sure that was the year of COVID. So it was kind of shut down, but we were still just jibbing like crazy. And we pulled up to the rail at probably like 10 p.m. and start setting it up.
And this is the rail for those listening at Ski Bowl. When you roll in from the parking lot and you walk down to get your ticket or whatever, there's that long rail that had the crazy like humps in it.
Yeah,
It's
a
not even a
down
kinked rail.
flat to like 4 or 5.
Yeah, it looks like it got
waves.
like a bunch of trees fell on it or
Yeah.
something. I don't know why it was shaped the way it was. Maybe they're like, if we do this, it'll keep people from hitting it. I don't know why, but you guys all know the rail I'm talking about. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like it should happen.
Anyways, we're just sessioning it all night. Like everyone tried. Casey, Andy, Sam Klein.
Oh, really? Everyone hopped on.
Everyone
trying it?
tried. Even Finney tried. There's like a clip of him tacoing it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, there's probably some glorious deaths. I've never seen
I
anything
don't know
but
if
the
there was
make.
a whole lot of deaths, but I think it was just kind of like casual early offs.
To no snow on stairs.
Yeah, to no snow. But finally, Eric, he was like getting pretty close. But it was probably like 4 or 5 a.m. Like we were there
Oh,
all
shit.
night. It was like usually I don't do the overnighters, but it was so sick. And he finally laced it, and it was like so sick.
Dude,
And-
I love your caption on there. I wish I would have written it down, but it's something like, that night I remember feeling like anything was
Dude,
possible.
really, like when he laced that, I was like, that was the sickest thing. And I was like, this is why we do this shit.
Yeah.
To get this feeling of like invincibility.
Yeah, you're
I
like,
don't know, you guys ever
anything's
had that?
possible, not even just snowboarding, like anything in life is
Dude,
possible
you guys,
after
you guys,
that.
I mean, do you guys ever have that in when you're skating or snowboarding and you get a clip or something?
Dude, you get the clip out, you land it, and like, yeah, like a feeling of like, I don't know, to get like woo-wooey, but like literally like a feeling of connectivity to the universe. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're just like, oh, dude, like that's what I'm supposed to
Yeah.
do. Like that felt so good.
Do you ever have that feeling, Pepe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you think of a time that you did? Any notable tricks?
No, but I feel like that's what like keeps you doing it.
That's
yeah,
what
just
keeps
that feeling.
But I
feeling.
mean, being a Mount Hood local, like, and just seeing that rail all the time, being a ski
That's
bowl
sick that
local,
you got that vicariously.
it's like that was just such a moment. I can't imagine how Eric Louis felt.
Yeah.
But I mean, just being a Mount Hood local is super special to me. To be like, we're the only people that hit that rail and made it to the end, and then they ended up taking that rail out.
Yeah.
For better or worse, like someone might have been able to board slide it, but at the same time, the legend is like, no one.
Dude,
We're the
got
only
in and
people
got
that
it.
hit it. So.
Eric, if you're listening to this,
I heard about
chime in or message with your.
I heard
your
about a couple
experience
other
there.
pros that were like interested in hitting it. I think like Spencer Schubert, but we got that one.
You got it. And now legend has it
Forrest
the
Bailey
rail.
didn't get to that one first.
Legend has it the rail still exists around Govy somewhere. It pops up at events every now and then.
Yeah.
We've had it at a DGS event. I got through that thing one time.
Yeah, and that was just the wave part.
Just
that
the
wasn't
wave
even
part,
the
yeah.
down.
Yeah, and here's the
So
thing.
you
Let
have
me
to-
put it.
it's
The reason I
gnarly.
bring it up is not to toot my own horn. It's to bring it up and put on record that I'm not trying to claim that I did that when the
no.
real version was.
But you know how
Eric
gnarly.
Louis.
You know how gnarly.
Yeah,
even
I
just that
understand
piece
how
is
insane it was to
without
get through that.
stairs and the down. So.
Like part of it's like if you get through the down flat, it might line you up to good to survive the kinks.
It might. Yeah.
However, you're doing that on dry, like it's
Yeah.
crazier.
Yeah.
No question, crazier.
So such a great moment.
Yep. So respect. And when I did it on the thing, I like kind of bucked out of it. It was
Did
like
you front one out?
out of survival. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe if I front 3 out, it'd be
Yeah. Did I-
like, and it'll add to what's been
Did
done
I
on
film
this.
a clip of that? Did I clip you up on that?
There's a
Or did
clip of it.
somebody-
Yeah, someone's got an Instagram
It
clip
might have been
of it.
someone else who filmed it. I was at the event
But
for sure.
yeah, it's cool that thing exists, and honestly, it'd be kind of cool to get at the DIY eventually.
It'd be
Figure out a
sick.
way to put it in the ground somehow.
Somehow, yeah.
Maybe
right.
like mellow out the kinks a little bit and make it to where it's like
I
a
think
ride
they were
on.
thinking about putting
rainbow.
it at the yard, but it's just like too gnarly.
Yeah,
and it's kind of
not
unstable.
Fun. It's not fun.
I feel like it's very unstable in the whoops.
Mm-hmm. And it's
So-
getting worse from
Yeah,
being like moved
every
around.
time people hit it, it gets worse and worse.
But cool. So let's see. Going back to here, one more thing on the Passion of the Chuuch. You guys had that ditch spot at the end, which was freaking insane. It's like this big. I don't know what it is. It's like this giant ditch in like it looks like the desert of Utah.
Oh,
It's like the
yeah,
Yeah, and you guys like
spillway or
gapping into
something.
it and stuff.
yeah.
You
I
guys
think
just hit some
that was a
spots in that
sick-
video that were like the videos that you see, to sound like an old person, the videos you see nowadays, I feel like you guys were hitting features that were kind of larger than some of the videos you see nowadays. And that's just a homie film. You guys are just
Yeah.
putting together a homie project.
No, that was a good video. Like,
Yeah, and it stands the test.
Yeah, that Passion of the Chuuch video was pretty sick. I would say the only better clips that I filmed are these clips that are for the coming up sandwich video. I think those clips might be even better than the Passion, but
Is
I'm
that
still
going to
waiting.
come out? Do we know if that's going to come out?
I think it's still gonna come out. I'm keeping my faith, but there's some really good clips of that.
I don't know Kaiser personally.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have him on the show at some time.
We
Great,
should.
great way to get to know him.
Yep.
Maybe we can get his scoop on whether that's going to come out. or
Yeah,
not.
some of those clips. I won't leak too much, but those were really good.
I know
and they're all like Mount Hood clips.
He's trying
too.
to cook it properly.
Yeah, right.
All right, so let's we kind of I don't want to run too long here because the skate shop does have to open. We're filming this at BDK Board Shop here in Sandy, Oregon.
Yeah, it's like-
tied to
it's,
a record store in Sandy. Shout out to Minty and Mike, but they open at noon, so
10:30 right now.
yeah, we do have a cap on it. Because I could sit here and talk Chuuch all day. Like, you got a deep catalog, and
That's cool.
Dude, I spent the last week just like going through all of them. Because how often do you get to do a book report on the homie? Is what it's felt like.
Well,
You know?
okay. What was your favorite edit or video? If you just had to pick one,
Like if I'm
like
gonna,
what would people?
if I'm
What
gonna
should you tell
put-
people to go watch if they're gonna watch one Chuuch video?
I say you should watch 2. You should watch Passion of the Chuuch, like
Okay.
to get some OG
Yeah.
footage in there.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe Home Invasion or Back on My Bullshit. You need to get some Back on My Bullshit because I
Okay.
feel like that's what Chuuch is now.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
really the rope toe homies.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna like just put on something for 10 minutes while I put my boots on to get out the
The
door.
back on my bullshit.
Yeah,
Is
it
there
just
a
makes you wanna
certain?
go
So there's
ride.
now. I'm working on the 5th back on my bullshit.
Yeah, 'cause
Which
they're a
one
series.
do you like the most, or do you know?
I noted that they all kind of start the same. which is
Uh-huh.
kind of sick. I don't know if
Okay.
that was intentional or not.
Probably
Dude, two of them
slightly.
literally start with a close-up on Riley's face and then zoom out to him going like cab 2 on.
Okay.
I'm like, that's sick. So
Huh,
maybe
sick.
keep the theme running.
Yeah.
But all of them just get me hyped. I don't know.
They're
Let's
good
let's
suit.
roll through
How
because
about-
I
wait,
wrote it down.
How about
I got
you?
terrible
How about
memory.
you,
I gotta look at my
Pepe?
notes.
Do you got one Chuuch video that you're like, okay, I would show my homies that have no idea what it is? Do you know? Or
I'd
do you
say
not know?
2. I agree with him with Passion and Home Invasion.
Home Invasion for
Yeah.
Mount Hood stuff. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. All right.
Maybe we can hop into Home Invasion
There's
because
been-
that's the next thing I got on.
Yeah,
here.
there's been some people that have been like, you got to make Home Invasion 2. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I tried to get Kai to come on today. And,
Oh, really?
yeah, he's down. He's just like, I don't know if that's me. Like, Kai's like a big chiller.
Yeah. He should have came on.
He's down. We're gonna have him on at some point.
He has sick clips in Home Invasion.
I know, but I'm like, well, maybe that's why I didn't want to come down. Maybe it hasn't been 7 years. I don't know what the statute of limitations is for putting a grappling hook and climbing up every roof in Govy. You know?
Oh yeah, right.
He might be trying to keep it low key still.
I think he's fine.
Because so we had Extreme Home Invasion, where it was all filmed in Govy. Is that right?
Home Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a couple clips here at the Sandy Skate Park.
Oh, that's
rail-
right. But it's all Mount Hood stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly it's all Mount Hood stuff.
And I
True.
had put on there that the highlights is like watching all the homies just put the beat down on that rail we were talking about at the Sandy Skate Park, where it's a flat to gap elbow down, and the rail itself, like, it's kind of hard to lock into. It's
I
a
think it was-
flat rail. It's not rounded.
But it's gotten rounded. Didn't it get kind of like rounded in certain spots from people grinding it?
Probably.
I think like it wasn't a perfect flat bar.
I know, like, the times like I've just like hit it with basic tricks, and like when you lock into it, like, you're golden, like, you're locked in.
Okay.
But getting to that was kind of hard.
I never hit the rail. I only filmed it.
Yeah, but it's a sick spot, and it's like one of the few legit spots we have on Hood. When it does snow low enough, we could go there, and you guys just kind of put the beat
was a
down
good-
on it.
that was a good
There's
session.
no reason to go there
Cam-
anymore after that happened.
Cam was there. Arlen George was there.
Mm-hmm.
So there and I want to say someone was like shooting photos too.
What did Trats do? I think he
Ian Sullivan was shooting photos too.
did.
Trats did front board pretzel.
Yeah, which
And
was
then
nuts
Tanner
to it.
Seymour did like a board slide, front board pretzel, I want to say, something like that.
Absolutely
And
destroying
then
the
Will
spot.
Bickerstaff, he did like a 50 front 3. And I think Kai did like a board slide grab or something like that.
And then Kai's standout, really, in my opinion, was like just the grappling hook and like
Yeah.
climbing up and dropping in off the roofs of that cabin in Govy to hitting the deck. I think
Yeah.
that deck was his house.
I think that video was really cool because it was very relatable. Like we had that gnarly rail at the Sandy Skate Park, but besides that, like all the features were kind of just jibs and like trees and rocks. So I think in people's houses. So I think people were like, "Oh, I could go do that." Like you realize Govy's such a small place to film, or Mount Hood.
Yeah, you really forces you to
People
get
were
creative.
like, "Oh yeah, I could go film clips like that." Even though they're great clips, it's very relatable.
I think that's one of the things that gets people excited about nowadays too, is when you make like the social media edits that you make, and you throw in just local riders who are wearing your merch.
Yeah,
Everyone gets excited about that.
yeah. People are stoked to be in an edit.
Yeah, that's a good way of paying it back to the people. But yeah, so we had that. What was after Home Invasion?
After Home Invasion, yeah, I kind of just
We had Back on My Bullshit.
the Back on My Bullshit series, and then there's one other video, Chuuch Resurrection, which was like a VHS video, filmed with primarily this camera here. So when I started filming with Sandwich, I kind of got opened up to the idea of filming with like standard definition cameras. So I started filming. I got one VHS camera gifted to me by my mom. And then the other one was gifted to me by Miranda Kersey, who's Corey Caswell's girlfriend. And I was just like, well, I'm going to start filming VHS. That's cool. I got a fisheye to fit on this one. And it was...
You do it tastefully
yeah.
too.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's cool to see that.
Didn't you find a bunch of VHSs at a spot too?
Dude, there was a bunch of VHS. There was a bunch of VHSs at this spot. It's at this like fire station out past Hood. And I found some blank VHSs, and I also found some like Disney VHSs, which I gave to Minty recently. I was like, you should sell these. I don't know if they're worth anything. They might worth like $5 each or something. But one
Did
was
the
like
cameras
Lion King.
work? Like, did you keep using the cameras?
These ones?
Sorry, I was looking at my list.
Oh
Did
no,
you,
no, I found
did you-
VHS tapes.
Oh, okay, word.
Yeah, that I filmed on some of the tapes that
That's
were like
sick.
in this abandoned building. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
That's cool. So, kind of in between there too, you had a couple Super Park edits where you got to go out to Super Park with everyone. Is that what High on Crystal was?
Yeah, that
Was
video.
a Super Park at Crystal Mountain?
I went to 2 Super Parks in Mammoth, and then that one at Crystal Mountain, which I think was the last Super Park ever. But that
don't
was
do
a
it
lot
anymore?
of fun. No, they
I
don't
guess
do
I
it
haven't heard
anymore.
anything about it. Yeah.
Well, because
I didn't really
Snowboarder
realize.
Mag doesn't
Oh,
exist
true.
technically, I don't think, or it's just like a shell of the company it once was.
But you got some of your videos on Snowboarder before they disappeared, right?
Yeah, the videos were regularly on like Snowboarder, YoBeat, Method Mag.
You still get them on Method.
Yeah,
I
they
think I
still
saw
put
one
them.
recently.
They still put like the bullshit edits on Method
Yeah,
Mag,
which is awesome.
yeah. That
Props
whole
for getting
kind
up
of that whole thing has kind of really shifted. Like when I first started filming, it was like you got to get it on these magazines, websites to get any kind of views, and now it's like, for better or worse, you can kind of just promote it on Instagram through your own channels, and people will click it. So I kind of like that more, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't
being
have
in
to
control.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
feeling the
exactly.
pressure.
You can promote as much or as little as you want to.
That's sick. What else do we got? So High on Crystal. Then after that, dude, I straight up just went in linear order here. So I got notes. So we had High on Crystal, and then after that, kind of playing off that title, you had Addicted to Chuuch, the Clout Cam tour video, and then Free the Clout. Which in Free the Clout, you had that sick motion graphic where the Tiger King, it's like NBA 2K
he's
or
like
something.
dunking the camera.
Yeah, he's like giving the alley oop of the camera
Yeah.
to like Shaq or something, dunks it in.
Yeah.
How did you make that?
I think I just made it in Final Cut, like keyframing the cameras and stuff.
Because you've also had some sick like.
There's some
graphics
decent
in there.
graphics. Yeah, I
It's kinda
usually
what
just
makes it
make
what
them
it
like
is.
in the editing program, like mix them up in Photoshop and then bring them in.
Kind of gives it that little special.
I should probably get better at like After Effects and stuff. You could probably go even harder on graphics, but
Yeah, it's cool that you get it done. Like the way you get it done makes it look.
yeah, it's
look
kind of
cool.
funny, like
Yeah.
rudimentary put together. But
This is random, but do you guys see the new sandwich ad that he dropped for like the
Yesterday?
New merch? Yeah,
I did, yeah.
I was watching it on repeat. I'm like, dude, you made such a good edit. with
He
this
does
thing.
make
Like,
really good
it's
ads
funny.
just for like merch. It's entertaining.
Yeah,
right?
it's good. We're gonna have him on.
Yeah, for sure.
So we had the Clout Cam. We had Free the Clout.
Those are all VHS videos too.
Oh, really?
So pretty cool.
What about Kojib 19?
That one, yeah, just filming before.
Was that during
right
the
around
lockdowns?
COVID? Yep. And that was just like a little jib video, and that kind of transitioned into filming for the sandwich video, like filming the same kind of content. But
You guys kind of hit some spots that definitely wouldn't have been a go otherwise.
Yeah, a
you
bunch
guys
of
have to
ski-
check it out because current Ski Bowl employees, we don't want to bum anyone out here, but definitely took advantage of some scenarios that might not have been there.
yeah,
you
we
guys
like
have
hit.
to see for yourselves.
There's like a rail on the top of multiple lift that we hit, and just like a bunch of stuff at Ski Bowl you probably wouldn't normally be able to hit.
It's just so sick. Are you going to be working at Ski Bowl again this
Yeah,
upcoming winter?
that's
running
the plan.
town?
Pretty excited. I think this will be like my 8th year working there, actually 7th or 8th year.
Fuck yeah.
And hopefully do another
Same
bullshit
schedule?
edit. Hopefully work on the weekends and maybe a couple other nighttime shifts or something. We'll see.
Sick. Well, the last couple videos on here, and these are the recent ones where you start seeing like kind of the current cast of friends that you see in the videos. We had the Resurrection. We got Back on My Bullshit. That was the last one, huh? Just the Back on the Bullshit series here.
I'm pretty sure. And so I'm also filming for Hunter Bissler's edit. It's like dad cam. So between Sandwich and the dad cam video, that's where all my street footage is going to.
Right now.
So they'll have that out on their channels, but I've just been sticking with the bullshit and just filming at Ski Bowl and hyping people up there.
Sick. And the bullshit edits are fun. I've noted on here that there's just a complete beatdown by Stej, by Casey, Space Case, Riley, Pepe. You got clips in there. You're like always fun to ride with. Like, thank you for sitting in here today.
I think so. There's gonna be 5 bullshits. I think there's 3 people that are in every one. I think it's Riley Tardif, Ian Sullivan, and I'm pretty sure Connor Carroll. They all have clips in every single one.
Yeah, Connor
So-
and Colton.
I don't think Colton
It's
has
cool to
clips in
watch
every
their
one, but Connor
their
has-
riding
has clips
progress
in there.
through the years of the Chuuch edits.
Yeah, I mean they don't have a lot of clips, but Connor has a really sick clip last year where he front boards the Six King.
Yeah. Insane. And just
Yeah, I'm
the
pretty sure maybe Andy Gladder too. Honestly, has clips in every single one too.
Dude, the growth of the toe has been insane. You
Yeah,
can see it in there.
it's
And like
epic.
I didn't really realize it until going back and watching it all in one sitting. I'm like, you can see the features on the toe kind of progress with everyone's riding.
Yeah.
Like the whole group's level just keeps going up.
It's definitely
I know
leveling
that
up.
there's people that are wanting more beginner features at the toe
Yeah.
to compensate for that, because when the rope toe first started, it was like box city, which was
Mm-hmm.
fun, and it was fun to go there and like max it out within an hour, and
Yeah.
like that feels good. But to have something that you can like ride all day and you can keep leveling up on is really special nowadays.
It's a really tough thing that we
It's a
battle
limited
with
space.
at rope toe, is like trying to make it friendly for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But we have that freedom to be a place that can build the craziest rails generally.
Yeah.
And you have to take advantage of that too and progress the scene as well.
I almost don't want to talk about the rope toe because I don't want to blow it up. Like I want to be able to get to the bottom and grab onto the toe without having to wait in line for
yeah.
10 minutes,
Yeah.
But everyone knows how special that place is, and everyone that's doing what you do to keep it progressing. Thank you. It's sick. Can't wait for some ball.
Sick. Yeah, same.
But yeah, that kind of wraps through the lineage of Chuuch.
Yes.
Nice slappy crook yesterday up there
Nice.
skating
Getting my
windows. I saw
groove
that.
back.
Yeah, no, that was a proper clip. Plans for the future. I know you've been working on some Air Blaster stuff. You want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, sure. Just I've been doing some ads for him, just a little editing. But I got the job with Ricky Hauer, who's a Mount Hood legend as well, and just been doing a little bit of editing for him in Premiere. So we'll see if that becomes a bigger thing or not. But it's been a good little side hustle.
Sick.
Yeah.
Well, we have a full page of questions to try to get through.
Oh,
And
okay.
what time is it right now?
Let's see. Now it's 10:38.
All right, so we're gonna blast these. Let's do it hot take style. So
Yeah, I'll try.
just-
I'll try my best.
we'll try and breeze through.
Right.
All right, I'm just gonna hit you fast with them.
Okay.
So, if I don't read your question, I'm sorry. I tried to get the best ones, and there's a couple people that asked.
Are there any
multiples,
questions for Pepe or no?
Pepe, feel free to chime in on any of these.
We didn't really advertise that you were going to be here.
Yeah,
so.
we just wanted you in the homie seat to kind of be here, so it's not just Leif and I talking to each other. And maybe we'll have to do a full Pepe episode.
Yeah,
I have a question
can
for
come
you.
in yeah. Okay. What?
Why is it always your birthday?
I think that's Zach Redmond. He just thought it was my birthday one day
Yeah.
at the rope toe, and I was coming up, and everybody was singing happy birthday. And I was like, all right, is this for me? And then I told everybody it's not my birthday, and then they were like, that's okay. And then since then, it's kind of been my birthday
It's
every
been this
day.
running joke. I
Yeah.
remember the first
Every time
time
you see Pepe, you're like, "Hey, happy birthday!"
I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, damn, I got to get him a present, man. And then I was like, and then I heard it wasn't your birthday, and I was like, oh, thank God I didn't give him a present. I didn't look like a noob.
When is your actual birthday?
It's coming up.
Yeah,
We're-
don't sing happy birthday to me.
Dude, we're gonna have to
We're gonna
have
have
you
to have,
back
like,
for a special Pepe
Like a
episode.
rail jam or something.
Yep.
A big old bash. Mark your calendars.
All right, ripping through here. At Gator Bites wants to know, will we ever get more Chuuch Mountainous collabs?
Yeah, there's an edit with me. There's Mountainous Goes to Chuuch. It's an edit. Him and I worked together at the brew pub, actually with Josh Baker, the DIY builder, and maybe, but I think he lives in Indiana now.
So it's out there. They can find
Yeah.
it.
Oh, side note though, I texted Josh Baker a picture of the new feature, and he was super hyped.
Hell
He's like,
yeah.
way to keep the dream alive.
Nice. We got
And,
the stamp.
so maybe we'll see him out here at Hood and go
Sick.
skate with him.
Much love, Josh.
Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Lockwood, favorite trips with the Chuuch crew?
With Lockwood, yeah, probably the ones where we went to Sioux Falls in South Dakota. They were really sick.
Sick.
Hit a bunch of cool spots.
Connor Cox, too. Favorite project movie you've made?
Oh, man. Probably, I don't know. I like them all equally. I'm waiting on the sandwich clips.
Sick. Frick Charlie wants to know, what's the key to clout?
The key to clout is just film everything and put it out there. Don't be scared to drop your clips, at least on your story.
Uncle Andy says, how does one do it big, kid? With 4 eyes.
That's a Mountainous quote, actually. Do it big.
Connor Carroll, street or transition? The man is an ATV.
Bless. I'm more street these days.
Soggy Lips, homie. At Soggy Lips, homie. Call Scotty Rutherford and tell him to get back on snow.
Scott Rutherford is a sick skateboarder, but he's also a sick snowboarder. But I don't think he snowboards as much anymore. But shout him out. He's in some of the sick. He's in If You're Scared, Go to Chuuch and The Passion of the Chuuch with dope skate and snow clips.
At Elusive Jojo said, Sandwich losing all the COVID movie and no one's seen Meech jib the yurt? ?
That is a really good clip of Dimitri Bales jibbing the ski bowl yurt. But I don't think the clips are lost. I think they're coming out.
Okay, sick. Much anticipated.
Yes.
At Jose Swervo, who's your favorite shooter?
My favorite shooter, it's got to be probably Sandwich or Hunter or Bissler.
Respect, local homies. Dude, we gotta have Hunter on.
Yep.
At Park Merritts, I think I'm saying that right. Best snowboard film.
Like of all time?
Yeah.
Like my favorite
Yeah.
one?
All time. Whole industry.
Probably I would say the Tech 9 videos. Like if I don't say Sandwich, like not my videos, I'd say the Tech 9 videos are my favorite. Or Videographs. Those are always good too.
Get that out of here. Respect. I can't read my own handwriting. Brandon Paramore. Sorry if I'm botching that. Do you think the Century Extreme lens is overrated?
That's very hard to say. I mean, I guess, are you talking about the SD one or the HD one? But I think it's a great lens, but I think you should also just film with what you got and not worry about your equipment too much, and just you make the best of what camera and equipment you have. I don't think it's totally necessary to have the best equipment.
Good take. The riding comes first.
The riding
Riding and angle comes
Yeah,
first.
the angle. It'll help you get the best shot, but if you can't afford it, just go and film with whatever you can afford.
Max Test. What's your overall stoke towards snowboarding movies coming out currently? Are they truly redundant or am I desensitized?
I think you're just desensitized. No, I don't know. I think the videos that are coming out are still pretty sick. I don't know if it's anything super revolutionary, but I think it's still good riding, still good riders, good filming.
True. It's important just to do it every year to, like, my personal take, like, obviously I'm not a pro snowboarder. I'm not in the industry. I just do it because I love it.
Yeah.
I'm old at this point. I'm going to continue to just do it because I love it. But, like, I still go out and film clips with the friends just for maybe not even to put it up there. Like, that's the afterthought. Just the pursuit of going out there and having a mission with the friends and, like, having a, you know, it gives you a reason to go out there and do the dang thing.
What's your guys' take on that? Because I think he's asking, like, is the Videographs video that's coming out right now less interesting than it was 10 years ago? What do you guys think about that? Like, are videos lamer or are they the same?
Two takes. One, it might just be your perception as an individual, because as you age, things become, you know, the first time you see something, it's so special, and then it becomes less novel over time. Also, you have adult responsibilities weighing on you that make it to where, you know, you're aware of a larger world than you might have been when you were the only thing in your brain was snowboarding, you know?
Yeah.
As you get older and the responsibilities hit, it might make it to where it's, you get what I'm saying there. Mm-hmm. But there's that, and then also there's just so much coming out, and it's not like it's groundbreaking. Yeah, it's not like we're just discovering rail snowboarding again.
Right. To do something revolutionary like in your street part, you got to do pretty hard stuff.
Yeah, and we've kind of gone through the pattern of, like, how tech can we get, how big can we get, and now it's like kind of refining that.
Yeah.
Which is maybe it's just more of an art form now.
Yeah, what do you think, Pepe? Like, are you excited for snowboard videos this fall? Are you kind of like, whatever? Like, what do you think, honestly?
I'm not, like, super excited, but I feel like if I was a kid again or whatever, I'd probably be.
Yeah, if you were, like,
really,
15.
Yeah.
What about skateboarding? Like, what do you think in that spectrum?
I don't know. There seems like there's, like, a lot of videos. There's just so much of it
there's
now.
so much.
Like almost overload?
There's not like a full video or
like
stuff to, like, look forward to.
So you'd say his question is
the
kind of
Baker
true.
video is half watched on my YouTube account right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's.
So you'd agree
Not
with
'cause I don't
Max
wanna
Test,
watch
where
it.
you think
There's just so
videos
much.
have gotten less less anticipated.
Yeah,
I think that's
we're
what he's
inundated
asking.
with it. We're not
Maybe
saying that
less
you shouldn't.
anticipated.
Yeah, you shouldn't stop doing it, and we shouldn't stop putting them out. There's just so much of it.
Yeah, it's just got oversaturated.
And maybe really just try to emphasize on, like, doing your own thing and not trying to bite each other, because there's a lot of people trying to like copy the same pattern,
Mm-hmm.
and it just, you can see that, you know.
Yeah.
I think the ones that stand out are the ones that are really individual.
Yeah.
All right, ripping through them. Who cares what I want to say about snowboarding videos? I want to know what this guy says about snowboarding videos.
Well, I don't know.
So thank you, Max. Hood girls, biggest tip for progressing in skating and or snowboarding.
I think just repetition. I'm like not very naturally talented, so I just try a million times
Tenacity.
and don't get discouraged
I'll take this as a moment to say you are the flat ground master. And
because I can kickflip.
well, no, just because you're out there every day. Like, you are the person that I see skating the most consistently
Hell yeah.
on my social media feed. Like, it'll be the middle of winter, piss and rain outside, and you're finding a dry place to go and get your like kickflip reps in.
I like to do it. Yeah, I like to go every day
You
if
grind.
I can.
So respect for being on the grind. We see the progress.
I don't know if I'm the flat ground master though. I got to learn a couple more tricks.
Yeah,
before
but
I
like
take
you're
that
the
title.
dude that's like out there skating at the
I
most.
might
So
be. Yeah,
thank
maybe
you
in a
for
couple.
doing that. It makes
Yeah.
me want to go skate more.
Mr. Consistency.
Yeah.
Yep.
Try to get them consistent.
At On the Search for Animal Chin wants to know, how did you become the printing and embroidery guy for so many unique companies?
Well, yeah, we do screen printing and embroidery here at BDK, and I kind of just started printing Chuuch stuff, and then it just kind of fell into my lap of like doing this big order for Johnson RV here in Sandy, and then I just kind of started taking over the embroidery here at BDK. So I've been doing it for like 3 years, and I think just from all my films and people knowing me in snowboarding, they reached out to me and said, hey, can you do merch for me? So that's kind of one of the things I'm going towards now, is like less making Chuuch, but trying to help other brands maybe realize their goals, you know, both through merch and filming for other brands, you know. So I've kind of focused on that too.
Sick. So if you're kind of like a startup company and you want to get some merch made, are you a good person to hit up
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that?
hit me up, and even if I don't end up doing it for you, I could give you some good tips.
How would
And-
they do that? At Chuuch or
Yeah, you can at Chuuch or at me at Sweet Life
or
too.
at BDK?
Yep, you can hit up BDK. That'll be Mike, but he'll give you some good tips too.
Sick. Front one guy says, Ice Spice or Sexy Red?
Ice Spice
There you go. Half glass of Pinot said, Clout.
swag.
At Mount Hood Angler, one trick for the rest of your life. What would it be? I think he's talking skate.
Snowboard, I'm gonna say backboard, like a board slide, and skateboard, I'd probably go with the kickflip. If it's a ledge, no slide.
Nice backboard through the six kink.
Yeah, that one was a big moment
Yeah.
for me.
That was proper.
Yeah, it was cool.
I got hyped on that. What's up, by the way, Paul? Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Wesley McGuire, favorite bowl feature and favorite feature at the DIY?
My favorite bowl feature is got to be the missile, probably. The missile. I also like the double barrel quad kink, though. It's pretty sick. And then at the DIY, I'd say probably that slappy ledge, like right in front of the red rail, is where I skate the most. No, actually, probably the like triangle bank.
Okay, like the wedge to
the
wedge or
up,
like
down?
the
Yeah,
jam?
the wedge to wedge with the grind on the left hand side.
Yeah, like the one of the OG features there.
Yeah, I like either of those features.
Nice 18-wheeler cruising by.
Yep.
My mom is gonna love this. Says Ting versus Lockwood. Who wins in a fight and who wins in a game of snow?
Ooh, that's tough. Man, Ting's kind of a scrapper. So
Great clips, by the way.
But
He's one of my
Lockwood's a
favorite
lot
writers in
bigger.
your videos.
So if they were fighting, I'd probably go with Ting, honestly, and I'll give Lockwood the snowboard game of snow.
Okay, that's
Ting on
fair.
the fist fight, Lockwood on the game of snow.
There we go. Wesley McGuire also asked, "What's your favorite memory that you've filmed?"
Probably the ski.
And then Space Case also asked, "What's a favorite clip you've filmed?" So it might be the same
Yeah,
question.
probably either the ski bowl rail of Eric Louis or the front one gap of Alex Lockwood are like two of my favorite clips. The third one is the clip of Stu Wozniak. It's at the beginning of Church, and he board slides a kink ledge. I think it's like a 4 kink.
Okay.
So those are like the top 3.
Sick.
I
That's cool that you
forgot,
guys
I probably
recall 'em.
forgot some, but those would come to mind.
You know it's standouts if you got it like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
If it's
Those
just in
3
your
are
back
really
pocket.
good.
U Golf Pacific Northwest. Shout out to Matt. says, why don't you rock football jerseys anymore when you ride?
I know I should. I used to have a Brett Favre jersey
Bring it
that
back.
I would rep over my jacket. Jersey squad.
Bob Parsons, what's the best thing about BDK Thursdays, and can we keep it going into the fall and winter?
The best thing about BDK Thursdays is playing skate with Bob Parsons, and just seeing all the dogs and getting
Yeah.
some clips and stuff.
Shout outs, Bob. You're a great person. Bob helped me coach kids last summer. We were just doing for free. Show up at the skate park, and we'll teach you how to drop in and push
sick.
around. And Bob was a volunteer with that program. So
Was
thank
that
you,
this
Bob.
last summer or 2 summers
We
ago?
did that last summer.
Okay.
Not the one we just had, the one prior.
Oh, okay.
We should have done it again, but we were busy.
Yeah, for
we need
sure.
to. Maybe when the Sandy Skate Park opens, we'll figure out a way to make sure that we got some lifeblood going into
Yeah,
that park.
maybe some lessons or something like meet
Do what
up
we
for
need to do.
kids.
We're almost through it here. Cyber Simulation said, how did you get into making mini DV videos?
Just through Sandwich, inspired by Sandwich. Yep.
Dirty Dean, any liquid? Okay, so he went really far on this. I'm going to ask the first question.
Yeah.
He says, any liquid from your belly button, what would it be? If you could have any liquid come out of your belly button, what would it be? Question from @DirtyDean.
Oh, I don't think any liquid. Dry. Sorry, man.
He went far. He's like, and what
was the
motion would cause the liquid to come out? And like, dude, he is.
I don't think there's any liquid coming from my belly button.
There you go, Dan. Or
Sorry.
Dean.
Is there any liquid coming from his?
Good question. Ozzy16 Barnes, I think. Sorry, dude. I can't read my own handwriting. What keeps your fire burning?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think just seeing people progress, and right now I also like getting clips of myself. So I'll be like, we got to go 5. Like, people ask me to film them, and I'll be like, well, we got to go 5 for 5 or 10 for 10.
Sick, which
like,
keeps you out there.
have to film clips of me if you want me to film clips of you.
Were you always down to do that, or is that a recent
I think
thing?
that's kind of more of a recent
I
thing.
feel like I've seen your writing like step up.
Yeah, I think for years I was just filmer, and I was down to like film you for hundreds of tries. But I kind of got into trying to progress my own writing, so that this way I don't get stuck in filmer jail.
Yeah.
But I also just like to see people get stoked. And the other thing is, if you're hitting street, I like to see new street spots get unlocked, and be able to say I was a part of that spot.
Yeah, you don't want to
So-
show up and watch someone do a trick that's already been filmed on a feature that's already
Yeah,
been
or
filmed.
like if it's a new spot or something, like I have a couple spots in Sandy where it's like, I want to see that one go down. Like, I'll be down to go film you there. But if it's like in the park or something, yeah, we're doing 5 for 5.
Sick. That's a good way of doing it. I love going out there and doing that with both of you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
You guys
crew.
are great.
Maybe we'll have to go do that after this. At Definition Standard says, what's the best tapeless rig?
He's asking about HD cameras, I'm guessing.
I think so.
I think my favorite one is HPX, or I also like this one, HMC, which films to SD cards. Those are my top 2 picks.
Thoughts on iPhone footage?
I think it's great.
That's a tapeless rig.
I think it's I mean, that's what I'm
Fits in your
filming
pocket.
mostly these days is iPhone, just messing around. So I like iPhone too.
Tony,
I think I look the best on iPhone. Like, when people film me camera, I feel like I don't look that sick. But when people film me iPhone, I feel like I like
maybe
like,
it's because
especially when I
maybe
get,
you just
when I get filmed fisheye, I always look like shit. Like, I feel like I just look like I'm riding really slow or something.
maybe it's the filmer. Maybe it's because
Maybe-
you're the best filmer
you
on the
do have
scene,
to
so
be
you
good
hand it
at
off
film.
to the second
You
best
do have to
filmer.
be
and
good
they're
at
second
filming
best.
fisheye.
Dude, that's something.
yeah.
Excuse me. That's something that I wanted to commend you on. Is you are good at fisheye. Like I dabble in filming, and fisheye is like where you can, where the boys and the men get separated as far as filming
I've fallen
goes.
off a little bit on my fisheye skills, but
You-
yeah, it
you
does
do
take a
nice.
little bit of like knowing your camera and knowing your dimensions.
What's the secret to a good fisheye clip?
I think just practicing and watching your clips and just like trying to frame them in the best. Like, a good fisheye clip has no head cuts, no board cuts. You're going in and out of the frame. So just practicing, watching it, and just trying to tweak.
You really gotta have your whiskers.
And
That's the
also,
thing.
like, every fisheye, every rig is different. So knowing, your equipment.
Well, props, dude. You handle it well. Tony G says, how many lenses have been harmed in the making?
I think not that many, honestly. I think there's a couple with scratches. Actually, the camera that Matt Turner gave me had an MK2, and someone borrowed it and broke it, and they bought him a new MK2. So I do have a new MK2 from Matt Turner, but I've always had really good luck on my lenses,
Knock on
honestly.
wood.
I've broken a couple cameras though.
Frontboard wants to know, what music do you listen to, and how did you start doing smooth shit?
What music do I listen to?
Yeah,
Pretty much-
he worded it exactly. What music does he listen to, and how did he start doing smooth shit?
Okay, well, what music I listen to is like all of it. I work at the record shop, so I've been trying to expand my horizons a little bit. But I've always liked like rap, and then actually I like country music. There's a couple good country stations.
When I think of the current Chuuch edits, I always think of like some like kind of smooth jazz.
There's
but
jazz.
like up tempo smooth
A really
jazz.
sick,
It's sick.
Station is 89.1 here in Oregon.
Okay.
So I'll be listening to that, and they have a good list where it
You're
shows
kind of a
what-
smooth jazz dude, you know?
Yeah,
like,
which shows
the only
which
other person I
tracks-
know that listens to smooth jazz is Breeze, the
Yeah,
ski coach
Pep-
up at
Pepe
Wendell's. You
listens-
guys are both
Pepe-
some chill
Yeah.
dudes.
Pepe's got it on.
Okay.
Jihan's got it
KMHD.
on. Yeah,
maybe I
KMHD.
need some jazz in my life.
And then the smooth, I don't know if he's referring to me as 18 smooth or if I'm just like smooth in general.
I don't know.
I'm
Open
not
to
18
interpretation.
smooth. That's just a friend of mine. But I don't know, smooth, I guess.
You did
Well,
some embroidery for him though.
I have done a little bit of embroidery for 18 smooth, but I'm not the main player.
what we got? Art of Adrenaline wants to know the pros and cons of Salt Lake City culture versus the pros and cons of hood culture.
Oh, wow. I saw him actually at Wendell's Open Skate yesterday. It was sick.
Oh, nice. Hopefully we can get together on some sessions this winter.
I think Salt Lake, it's a really cool spot, but it is like just a lot of like transplant people there, and even more so come and go versus Mount Hood. So I really like it in the winter there, but in the summer it was just like a little dry and boring.
Yeah, it's probably not too much to do.
I lived
wasn't
one
there
summer.
through the
I
summer.
lived one summer in Salt Lake actually, but it was really cool, really great place to meet people, but also very competitive. Like people are like clawing tooth and nail to like make their name in the industry.
Yeah.
So that gets a little old after a while.
Hood's the
But
other
it's
side
such
of
a
that.
sick place to go snowboard and skateboard at. So I do love it in that aspect. And then Hood's just like a little more relaxed. There's less like people trying to make it in the industry. So the industry is much smaller, but it's just more relaxed. The only downside I'd say is there's not a lot of like traditional street spots, but we make do with jibbing and a nice long season.
Yeah, you guys. What we lack in rails, we make up for in logs. So.
Yeah, logs and rocks, and just
Everyone
like
does a good job
a
of getting
good
creative out
attitude
there.
of people like riding, willing to board whatever's in front of them.
Sick. Well, those are the questions. We had some late minute submissions, but I think we gotta get rolling through them here. So thank you
Sick.
everyone that asked. We appreciate the input, and yes,
I got
more questions than we could keep up
I
with.
got one question for Pepe.
Yeah, what's that?
So Pepe, you're a filmer too, right? You filmed before as well. Didn't you film camera?
Not really.
Really? I thought you said you had a camera and filmed.
Oh, yeah, I had like a Sony Handycam.
Oh, okay. Were you filming clips here in Oregon or no?
No.
Okay.
Or actually, yeah, for a little bit, but then the camera got stolen.
So, yeah, what happened to your footage? It just got stolen?
Yeah, and I haven't had a laptop in a while. I made like a little video from Salt Lake
Okay.
with a couple of the homies that I knew from out there,
Okay.
and then I like put that on my laptop. Laptop broke, and at the time, Daniel, I was like filming with him, but then giving him the camera to like if he could transfer the clips onto his computer or whatever.
Yeah.
But then the camera got stolen, so whatever we had from here.
Dang.
we don't
'Cause
have-
Did you have some heaters on there that?
I don't think so.
Dude,
no, we
I
were just
mean,
doing
we
it.
would like
I
to
go
see some-
skate with Pepe, and he'll always tell me like all these spots like that Daniel did, or like Arlen was filming.
Oh,
And
that
I
Daniel.
Never,
Yeah.
Oh
I
shit.
never
Okay.
see any of the footage. So
Yeah,
I
Daniel's
wonder
so
That
good.
footage got lost both on Arlen's camera and
Yeah,
your
also
camera.
I think Arlen had some footage
Yeah,
get
it was a
lost
shame.
too.
Damn.
So
Damn. I'd
how
love
much
to have Arlen
how
on
much
at some point.
footage was that? You think? Like how long were you guys filming? Because I will go to spots
Not-
and you'll be like, Daniel back one this.
not a ton, but
Not a ton.
I mean,
Okay,
it was fun. Like,
but a bunch of Mount Hood spots. And
yeah,
stuff, right?
we had a lot of fun sessions and stuff. And
Okay, and that footage got lost, huh?
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna have to go and recreate some more because I'd love to see a full Pepe part.
But
Just
have you?
street and snow. Like you rip. You're one of the people's favorite riders.
What
around the
handy
area.
cam did you
It'd be
own?
sick
Was
to
it like
see.
a VX or no?
no, I think it was like a. I can't remember.
It's
Maybe
a tape
like
or HD?
HD.
Okay. All right. You got a YouTube channel?
Nope.
Where can we watch Pepe's with your edits?
I don't have any edits.
I thought you said you had one that came out.
No, I put it on like a, what is it called? Like a flash drive, and then I had it on my laptop, but then my laptop broke, and I've never like.
You still got the flash drive?
No, definitely not.
So we don't have any of Pepe's edits.
No.
I thought you had a couple. My bad. Okay.
Well, we're gonna have to go make some, but yeah, check out Pepe's writing on the Chuuch channel.
Sure, certainly.
Coming up here. Well, sick. That's the Chuuch deep dive.
Nice.
Did we miss anything? I'm sure we
I
did.
think I covered most of it.
It's hard. Like we hang out all the time, so like it's not like we're super far across the room to have to like. It's difficult to try and do, like I said, a book report on the Hommie and feel like you're covering everything. I'm sure I might forget things.
I mean, it's
as
been a
we
long
leave, but
it's been a long ride, like from people in high school repping it, to living in Utah to now being back at Hood and like kind of being official.
Plans for the future with it?
So I think just plugging away at it.
Just kind of the same thing.
I've had my merch in a couple shops and just keep making videos.
If people wanted to buy some church merchandise, where could they do so?
Here at BDK Board Shop is the main spot. And then on the Instagram, we're going to have a couple things coming out this fall and early winter.
Do you have your big cartel going?
There is chuchdistribution.bigcartel.com, but I don't think there's anything on there right now.
Gotcha. Sweet. Well, check it out, guys. Make sure to support Chuuch. Pop into BDK's board shop. You might be able to see Leif working. I think he's here Mondays right now.
Yeah.
Say what's up. And, yeah, if you got any questions about how to film or where some spots are, he's your guy. But thank you, guys. That's the Chuuch deep dive. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with our GovyLore segment. So we have had a bunch of people reaching out with the stories that they want to share about Govy, and it's been really special. Before we do that, do you have anything else you want to add on the Chuuch?
I think you did a great job. We got the info out there.
Sick. And it's not like your career's over or nothing like that. We just wanted to fill the guests in on who's sitting at the booth. So now we've got DGS. Now we've got Chuuch. Now we can have some outside guests come in. It'll be good times.
Yeah.
Pepe, thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks.
So our GovyLore this week is brought to us by a very special somebody, an Olympic medalist, X Games gold medalist, co-host of the Monday Mass. You might recognize him as Barry from the movie Out Cold. It is none other than the wet cat himself, Mr. Todd Richards.
Hey, what's up? This is Todd, and I've got pretty cool stories about Mount Hood and government camp in particular, and the vert scene that used to exist there. So at one point in time, I'm thinking like, mid 90s, like 94 up until like 98 or 99, the vert scene was absolutely thriving in government camp and the surrounding areas. I mean, High Cascade had a vert ramp over at Multipore in the beginning, and then that moved over right in the center of town where the big store is right now. USSTC had a vert ramp that was kind of up in the woods, and then Wendell's had a vert ramp that was on their campus in Welch's, and also when it kind of like moved down a little bit further to where it is now. So there was always a bunch of ramps to go and skate, and we would go back and forth in the ramps. Cascades was always the one that was kind of like built the best, but all of them had like different little features, and you could learn a trick on one and bring it to another, and it was a rad scene. There's tons of dudes skating, and I would go up to Hood to quote unquote snowboard in the summertime, but I was really going up there to skate vert because the scene was so thriving. So I guess like one funny story from back in the day would be, I think in the early 90s when Burnside was just kind of getting shaped. I mean, it was past the time where the initial bank to wall, and I think it was right around when they finished doing that bowl that was in like if you're looking at Burnside from the street, the left-hand corner that has the spine section into it, and maybe like another capped off part of the scene was there. And it was a rainy summer, and the camp counselors would bring the kids down to Burnside to skate when you couldn't go up on the hill when Hood was closed. So they would do this, and they would show up with like 3 buses and basically take over Burnside. And I think the guys at Burnside, like Red and all the heads down there, they were really tolerant of the amount of people that came down there, and they logically thought that it would extend both ways. Like they could just come up to High Cascade and skate the ramp, which they should have been able to do that, because, you know, if you're going down there and just blowing out their spot, like why wouldn't they be able to come up and skate the ramps that were in and around? So they did come up sometimes. You know, sometimes they were better behaved than others. I can remember one particular time that Red showed up with a crew of just like super rippers. I think Chad Vaught was with him, Ben Cron from Seattle, this guy Fives, Hubbard. All those dudes came up, and I think Red and Hubbard were shit-faced, like just pickled beyond. And they wanted to skate, and I think Red was like, you know, wearing like booty shorts, and he didn't have a shirt on, and you know, he's just like they've just been drinking hams for like 2 days straight. And so the camp counselors were like, fuck, we can't have these dudes around the kids. So, you know, someone was elected to go and tell them that they had to beat it. And so after hearing this information, you know, there's chaos ensued, and Red ended up taking a shit behind the vert ramp and then wiping his ass with his hand, and then chasing the counselor that was assigned to deal with the dudes from Burnside, ended up chasing them around with his hand covered in shit. And then he started to chase the campers around. Then he started to chase anyone around. It was the craziest shit finger chase story ever. So it was, I mean, those times were insane. Like when the guys would come up from Burnside, it was always chaos. I mean, like Felper spent time in government camp with all the Thrasher dudes. They would always come through. I mean, Cardiel would be up there ripping, Selaznick, Aaron Vincent, like the amount of talent that rolled through, Richard Kirby, like these insane vert skaters would come and just put on fucking demos. Like at one point, I think, I forget what team came through, but it was like Christian Asoy and Omar and Remy Stratton and all these guys. And we were all skating with them over at Multipore. And it was just crazy to watch. You know, this is this quiet little town in middle of fucking nowhere that just jumps into this bustling vert scene for 2 months every summer. I miss it. I miss the vert ramps being there, because they were always fun size. They weren't like these giant fucking monstrosities that they are today, you know, 14-foot transitions. Anyway, that's my story. Getting chased by Shitfinger Red around government camp.
Wow. I don't know what to say.
So
about that.
actually, to touch on that, do you know what year he said that was?
I think it was like early 90s.
Okay, well, this might be a little bit later, but one of the first Trans World skateboarding magazines I had, I think it was 2001. Anyways, it had the big vert ramp like right across from Charlie's, and it's a picture of TNT, Tony Trujillo, doing like a hand plant. And I was like, Govy? And they were also like at Newburgh skate park, but that was like one of my first introductions to like pros being in Oregon.
We were like,
and
whoa,
the cover was TNT hand planting this vert ramp at
That's
Govy.
sick. Yeah, have you seen the video of Todd that he posted of skating the High Cascade vert ramp that was up there?
I don't think so.
We'll have to dig it out, because first of all, thank you.
Play it over the video, maybe.
Thank you for the submission, Mr.
epic.
Todd Richards. We are honored. I don't really even. It's insane that we're on number 2 and that we got that dude.
Yeah, it's cool. He
like,
saw it, right?
Playing along. Yeah, it just shows how sick Govy is, and how much history there is in Govy that we need to unearth and bring to light and share with the people and kind of give it a place to park here.
Right.
But yeah, that's so crazy. And dude, I have been the guy that has had to kick people out of camp for years.
Right.
That was my job for a while. I got stuck being the person.
Luckily, that didn't happen to you, right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I could get kicked out of camp if I went there. But yeah, I didn't have to deal with Red Scott trying to chase me around with shit on his hand.
Poopy finger, yeah.
And I don't know, maybe we'll have to get Red's account of the story. That'd be pretty
That'd be
sick.
epic.
But yeah, having to be the person that like all of your heroes are there skating, like you've looked up to all these people and all you want to do is go and skate with them. But for some weird like turn of the universe, you are now the person that has to go and kick them out of the spot that they're skating. Like you feel so lame. And yeah, unfortunately, I've had to do that a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to realize it is kids that are there. Like,
Yeah, and there's ways to do it,
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I've bummed out a couple of the homies
Oh,
by
I'm
being
sure,
like,
right.
they look at me like, what do you mean? Like, you kook? I'm like, guys, like, I love that you're here. I wish that you could be here skating, but
Yeah,
right
right.
now, I have to tell you to leave.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, what a great story. So thank you guys for your submissions. Keep them coming. We have a lot more Govy history to unpack and bring your way. One thing that Todd did call for when he mentioned us on the Monday Mass is he wants more localism on Hood. He was comparing us to the North Shore of Hawaii. He said back in the day, if you showed up as an out-of-towner or like somebody who they didn't recognize or know, like, you might get told to beat it. And I don't think that's the vibe nowadays. Maybe we need to bring
Yeah,
back
I
a
don't
little
think you
more of
can
that.
do that anymore. People get pretty upset.
Maybe we've
about
overcorrected.
people
Maybe
get
we
too-
gotta bring it back to where we're like, yo.
People get really triggered by gatekeeping these days.
Yeah.
Don't.
But, I mean, did you help build this DIY?
Right. No, we can't do that.
Did you add to this?
We can't
Then
do
maybe you
that
shouldn't take
these
from it.
days, sadly.
Yeah. But there's ways to do it. Maybe I do like maybe just having a sense of ownership and respect for the community is something that is important to keep. Not that we've lost that, but I think that's what lies at the heart of localism. Anyways, that was cool. I can't believe that we had that. I'm gushing.
Yep.
But thank you guys for listening. That's kind of the show this week. I want to give a shout out to the people that support us and our friends in the community. Always shout outs to BDK Board Shop letting us film in here. They're open 7 days a week. If you're coming through Sandy, Oregon, swing in. There's a full skate museum from the 50s until now on the wall that you can go and check out. Also got records and shop here, so make sure to pop in. We got something for a full family. DGS, Scum, thank you. Friday Snowboard Co., thank you for existing. Their new lineup is out now. You can go purchase that. They are running out quickly, so might be gone by the time this goes out. If you need a Friday board, don't sleep on it. Hood Girls, thank you. The Govy DIY, make sure to donate, keep our concrete supply up. Uncle Andy and the Fuck Around Gang, thank you for providing the theme music. Here's a self-plug. Mount Hood Mobile. If you guys need brakes done and you are around the Mount Hood area, please hit me up. That is my specialty. I am mobile. I will come to you, and it will probably be cheaper than anywhere else. Morgan's Mountain Homes. If you need to buy or sell a home in the area, hit up Morgan's Mountain Homes. You'll find that on Facebook. And to all of you guys listening, thank you for the support. We are making this for you. I also want to say thank you one more time, Leif, for sitting in here today. Thank you for being who you are on the board and behind the lens within the community. Thank you for being the co-host on this show. Yeah. And thanks for letting me put you under the spotlight for an episode.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
no
It was
problem.
fun to do. And
No
Pepe,
problem.
thank you for being in the booth today.
Yeah, shout out Pepe for showing up early.
Yeah, it's early when we film this thing, so the coffee vibes are hitting. Also, check out this sweet coffee mug that I got. Homemade.
There was only 2 left. Sadly, we couldn't give you one. But
Oh, no sweat.
We'll get you some prizes.
yeah.
I got one of the clay pieces you made that
Oh,
just
okay.
has the ski
Okay.
bowl
Yeah, sick.
back on my bullshit.
Uh-huh.
But, all right. Happy birthday, Pepe. Thanks for
Yeah,
being in
happy
here.
birthday.
Leif, thanks for making Chuuch. All you guys out there, thank you for making this area what it is. We will catch you again next time.
A certified hood classic.
Yeah.